This is my last will and testament. I think I need to get my affairs settled soon, guys. I don't know. For most of yesterday, we had a big fly buzzing around on the top floor. And Ruben was trying to track it down, but you know, how often does a cat actually get a fly? Late last night, we stumbled over the dead fly in the hallway. This morning, Ruben's been tackling my ankle every time I walk past a corner that he's hiding in. I think he's gotten a taste for blood, and he's coming after me next. I think I'm next. Can I keep the channel? No. Yeah, I'm writing out my will. I'm making it very clear to the feds. I don't want anything going to you guys. Nothing. Haha, fuck you, Colton KP. I turned off TTS because I wanted to lock in last night while I was playing the Elden Ring DLC. Holy shit, did I come close. My God, I was one hit off. Oh, it was so... I can't wait to get another shot at that motherfucker. Oh my God. The one health one was so frustrating. Yeah, that was... Ooh, that's a... I do want to come back and do everything again, rune level 1. Honest to God, I have no idea if I... Because it's like, everyone was like, you know, oh, Millennia is so difficult. Let's get ready for the DLC. Haha, smile. And then you start the DLC, and the first enemy you fight is harder than Millennia by a great margin. Like, not even close, really. Whew, boy. Just do a Skadu level 1 run? Fuck that! I think Zero Lenny did Skadu 1 and RL 1. Okay, well, I don't want... Okay, listen, I'm not the best player out there, okay? No spoilers, Asmelia, but no, that's what we're working on right now. Excuse me. Dear leader, Claudia Scheinbaum of Mexico has been inaugurated. Well, I guess we'll see. Is this a real picture? No, this can't be real. Is this real? Is this a real structure in Mexico? Am I an idiot for thinking this is real? This looks like some Star Wars shit. Is this real? Chat, is this real? It is real? Huh. That's crazy. Does this not literally look like the exchange of power from the Harkonnens to the fuck, why am I blanking on this? That is not brutalism, guys. Atreides, thank you. Is this not brutal? Wouldn't you say this is? These gigantic, austere, like 100-foot tall concrete slab. I mean, if this isn't brutalism, I don't know what is. Looks AI generated? It does, but I guess it's real. Oh wait, hold on. This person right here says it's giving Harkon. Okay, so I'm not. I didn't even see that, but now I feel like really unoriginal. Art Deco. Do you know what words mean? Do you think this looks like Art Deco? Do you know what that word means? I think it looks postmodern, maybe gothic. We're just tossing them out there, huh? Anything you got? Anything you got? Looks very Baroque. Oh yeah, very Baroque. Yes, very Dada-esque. Very demure. Very retro-futurist. Well, in a way, that might be true, but in like a very specific way. I have to. So, is this normally how inaugurations look for the Mexican president? Because this looks really fascist compared to how our inaugurations look. American presidential inaugurations are held in the Capitol Mall with a big audience of like just people there, but here it's like lined up military. That is not the inauguration yet. Is this like the pre-inauguration? She just visited the army. Okay, okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, visiting the army probably often looks like this. She needs protection from the cartels. Yeah, this is actually her bodyguard. She's like Genghis Khan, you know, she has 10,000 bodyguards who follow her at all times. Is this woman the socialist who got elected? I don't know if she's really a socialist. A lot of people have very angrily emailed me telling me that she's basically a puppet of like the Uniparty in Mexico, and that even though she says she's good, she's not. I'm not sure if I have a ruling on that yet, but Mexico always has huge military parades too. Isn't it kind of interesting that America is the undisputed military leader of the world and we don't really have military parades? Remember that Mexican prison sphinx with tattoos? No? Oh yeah, the Sphinx cat that was in a Mexican prison and had cartel tattoos. Say what you want. They go hard as fuck. But why? To make them a cartel cat. The hardest cat there ever was. Meh. Ooh, doing a little blep. Yeah, this cat had to kill a man to be initiated. But is this animal abuse? Yes. You better say this is animal abuse right now, Ree. Well, okay, sure, yes. But the cat's been rescued. Beep, beep. Like, obviously. Just to let you guys know, this cat that was abused was abused. I guess maybe there are some like 4 IQ individuals watching who are like, I'll give my cat a tattoo. Don't give your cat a tattoo. Don't do that. The most you can do to a cat is you can have like a little peel off sticker, like just like a little kid sticker, and you put it on their nose, and then they go like, you can do that to them. That's okay. You know, that's fine. Can I tie dye my cat? Yeah, sure. You just, you know, you get the like dye on them and the zigzag, and then you wring them out. You untie the twine. We should have a movie where it turns out some Ohio migrants try to eat a cat, but it turns out they're an ex-cartel cat and they're strapped. Yeah, get the Trump supporters' opinion on that. It's Haitian migrant in Springfield versus MS-13 cat. Hold on. Hold on. Whoever wins, we lose. That would go hard as fuck. That would. Yeah, for sure. Man. We sure do live in a society, huh? Is this a segment? Me saying we sure do live in a society, is that on its own a segment? I don't know, given the quality of the content you guys consume from me, sure, why not? Yeah. Like, whatever, right? Whatever makes you happy. I'm sure you have this link queued up, but our favorite orb lady chimed in on the Haitian cat thing. North Dakota overturned the abortion ban in the state. Really? Huh. North Dakota judge strikes down the state's abortion ban. Man, it really is crazy how in literally, like, it has been nothing but backfiring for them, you know? I mean, North Dakota isn't exactly like a progressive haven, you know? I heard Laura Loomer and MTG are now in a full-on cat fight. A little sexist, don't you think? Why is it always when women fight, it's a cat fight? You know? That's right, I'm woke now. I'm a feminist now. How do you feel about that, huh? Fuck, I have so many links already. That's why I'm not talking. I'm, like, assembling the links. One second. I refer to the need to... I need to get this quote correct to find the article. Boost support among the working class. From a blog, The Liberal Patriot. A cursed name if ever there was one. Harris's working class problem. I saw a snippet of this article and it's lib shit. We'll look. The race is still exceedingly tight and seems likely to remain so. And there's another part of her game plan, or what should be her game plan, that does not appear to be working out so well. I referred to the need to boost support among the working class, which remains a serious weak spot for the Democrats and Harris. The latest New York Times/Siena poll has Harris trailing Trump among working class, non-college voters by 17 points. This was the framing of this article, and the ideology of its writer, if not made evident by the name of the blog, is so clear here because working class does not mean non-college educated. People who are college educated are still often working class, you know? Here, working class is being used as a synonym for uneducated, which is classist, for one, and for two, it makes it seem as though the Democrats are less supported by the working class, which is not true. The wealthy overwhelmingly support Republicans. That's identical to Biden's working class deficit in the latest New York Times poll before he dropped out, and way worse than Biden's deficit among these voters in 2020, a mere 4 points. Reopen the schools, man. Reopen the damn schools. This is a serious problem for the Democrats. College-educated America may be delighted with candidate Harris, but working-class America is clearly not. Again, this framing is, well, it's lib shit. I'll tell you that much. I think people with glasses are bourgeois. Welcome back, Pol Pot. Do you have any, do you have any ideas on how to bridge the urban-rural divide? That's true, Alec Gunter. I'm really sorry, but man, look, I understand. I get accused sometimes of being classist for identifying and factually reporting on the sort of urban-rural divide and all of the educational deficits contained therein on the rural side of things. What exactly is Kamala Harris supposed to do if uneducated and stupid people are falling behind in support for her? Like, I'm genuinely asking that. Like, what do you... Like, her policies are objectively better for people who don't have a college education. That's not arguable. So it's not a policy difference. It's not like her policies are insufficient here, right? Well, I do think they're insufficient, but if you're given a choice between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, it is objectively better that Kamala Harris wins from the perspective of a person who's like uneducated and poor. So what the hell do you do? They're all listening to like conservative talk radio and watching Fox News, you know? She needs to use scary language about an outgroup. Honestly, kinda, yeah. So it's just racism? I mean, yeah. If the noble poor of America were genuinely motivated by an authentic interest in their own class position and improving it, they would vote Democrat. Or better yet, they would be communists who vote Democrat in a kind of like strategic lesser evil sort of way, but in the long term plan to foment a proletarian revolution. Are they doing this? No, because they suck. It really is the racism thing. The New York Times data demonstrates how far apart the viewpoints of working class and college-educated Americans are today. Again, this framing, I reject it. College-educated and less educated people. Consider the following class gaps in perception. Not class. That's not a class difference. That's not... Biden's net job approval is minus 34 among high school or less educated voters, but plus 8 among college-educated voters. Trump's net favorability among uneducated voters is plus 10. Among college voters, it's minus 29. Hmm. When asked which candidate would do a better job handling the issue they care about most, uneducated voters prefer Trump over Harris by 20 points, while college-educated voters prefer Harris over Trump by 15 points. This article is weird. This article is liberal. Is the U.S. not becoming more educated too? Pardon me, but not at the moment, right? This boom of everyone going to college is kind of over. Right now, college is so expensive and nobody believes you're going to get a better job by going to college. I think that the rate of people entering into college after high school is decreasing, or at least the rate of the growth is decreasing. You know, the rate of the rate. Finally, voters were asked whether the next president should represent a major change or a minor change from Biden. Almost all voters wanted at least some change, but working class voters, i.e., less educated voters, were far more likely to want major change. Working class voters, or uneducated voters, net change preference was plus 46, but among college voters, it was just plus 1. So the uneducated poor are more interested in, like, big populist messaging. I have said the Democrats should hit on that. You know, Bernie Sanders, eat your heart out. Make college mandatory and free. I don't actually think it's the college education that's making the difference. They don't teach you in college to be a Democrat, you know. I think it's more of a correlative thing that going to college is a signifier of like urban versus rural or like relative wealth or attainment or job availability. There are other things that it points to that aren't necessarily like, oh, going to college makes you a Democrat, you know? How do people think Trump would be better on the economy? Because they're stupid. That's literally it. Right now, like one of the big red flags of the Trump presidency from an economic perspective is the promise to inflict a massive tariff on everyone, and the average American has no idea what a tariff is. there are polls going out right now where it's like, you know, how do you feel about Donald Trump's proposed tariff on goods from on foreign goods? And Americans are like, yeah, that sounds cool because we'd like get American-made products. And then you ask the same voters, you know, how do you feel about paying more for the goods that you get that come from foreign countries? They're like, no, I don't want that. So. Yeah, funny rhetorician. Unfortunately, like it is one of the like big stumbling blocks where sympathy can only take you so far, but past a point, unfortunately, like it is an objective fact. It's not even like a framing thing. It is an objective fact that one of the big stumbling blocks we have is that a lot of the people that we're dealing with are just stupid, racist, like rural folk. And that's it. I'm sorry. You just gotta accept it, man. You can like, oh, I don't like your framing. Well, I don't want to sell you bullshit. I don't want to lie to you. They've got like, I'm not gonna like, yeah, I speak straight when I'm talking about like black crime rates. You think I'm going to start getting tender when I'm talking about white Appalachian racists? You like I'm like, yeah, man, let's talk straight about this social issue and this social issue, and then we're talking about poor rural white people, and it's like, well, you know, I don't want to be like, you know, I don't want to be classist by pointing out all these objective facts. It's like, fuck, man, Jesus. Again, it's not an essentialist thing. It's just like, holy shit, it's an issue. People get so mad when I do this, but then I'm like, oh yeah, Israelis, Hitlerites, Russians, Hitlerites. I talk about like fucking Wahhabist Muslims in London or Germany. I'm like, these motherfuckers actually do need to integrate because they're out there like having rallies where they're calling for Sharia law, and I actually do think there are like levels of acceptability here that you're breaching. I talk straight in all these issues. I don't get mad emails over it. But then we talk about Appalachia, and all of a sudden, all right, I'll stop bemoaning. I'll stop bemoaning this point. You know, people get mad at me. They say, oh, he grew up in Beverly Hills. Yeah, the mean streets of Beverly Hills. Yeah. You have any idea how rough it was out there? You could be walking around enjoying a casual nighttime stroll safely at 2 to 3 a.m. And then what happens? An officer pulls up next to you. He tips his hat and he says, you doing all right tonight? You safe? All right. Then they drive on. You grow up having to deal with that? Yeah. You get a pretty straight shooting way of looking at the world. Yeah, pretty hardcore, I know. What do you do when a Beverly Hills liberal looks at you? Liberal? Beverly Hills votes red. Rich people vote conservative. Oh, yeah, for sure, Annie. Like, southern cities are fine, you know? It's just, man. I've been to Beverly Hills. It's very underwhelming. Oh, it is. Yeah, for sure. Okay. So this link just got dropped on my lap. And I'm not going to lie. We just talked about stupid rural people. And I don't want to discriminate based on people's appearances. But I'll let this guy's appearance do the talking for me. I'm not saying anything. Well, you know a motherfucker has trouble touching grass when they see somebody in overalls and a red shirt and their first thought is Mario. You have never driven through a rural area. I can tell you that much.
You know, the homeless problem. I don't know of a single homeless Haitian in this town because they all got vouchers. But I can show you a whole bunch of people that have been displaced. because I'm that guy. Rob, you know, for 25 years, I've worked with the homeless in this community. You know, a lot of people don't know because I'm not the...
You're literally criticizing this man for being old and having a beard. He has a gigantic American flag tucked into his overalls. Oh, by the way, if I might comment, if I might point out, if I may, his pristine overalls. Don't you talk to me, you slimy piece of shit.
The guy out there blowing the horn, because it ain't about me. It's the Jesus in me that goes out there and does it. Trust me, there's days I'm tired, but I'll get into homeless camps that nobody in a suit and tie will walk into. None. They trust me because I've never let them down. You know, and guys, if you don't think it's here right now, in October, we are getting ready to hit a wall here. There is not any relief for the homeless. The homeless people in this community are not the people you think they are. The squatters that aren't happening. It's not there. There's veterans.
The hell is he talking about? He's saying that Haitians coming into Springfield, Ohio are displacing white people who live there and making them homeless.
Come see me. I'm not real hard to find. Ask anybody on the street. They'll tell you how to get a hold of me. I'll take you there. And no, they don't want your toothpaste and your peanut butter sandwiches. They want you to come up with a solution to why they're displaced, why they lived in a house. I personally know, and I'll testify under oath, my hand to God, somebody that lost their house.
Well, if they were paying rent and they lost their house, they probably lost it because they couldn't afford rent anymore. That's usually how that works.
Were there 7 years. The landlord said, hey, I need you to move out, find a temporary place. I'm going to remodel it, and then you can come back.
Thank
it was
you,
a
Barry.
lie. They moved him out, tripled the rent.
Thank you.
Follow
Thank you for
the
speaking.
money.
Follow the money. I mean, that sounds like a housing rights issue, but they're using it to blame Haitians. And then the rich Haitians move in. Exactly. Yeah, follow the money. The rich Haitians with their vouchers.
You know, the homeless problem. I don't know of a single homeless Haitian in this town because they all got vouchers. But I can show you a whole bunch of people that have been displaced because I'm that guy.
Benny Johnson posted a video. Yeah, I saw it's on the docket. I saw that, man. Benny Johnson was like, yeah, maybe everyone and all the institutional media are claiming that there's no cat eating going on in Springfield, Ohio. However, we went on the ground and talked to regular American citizens. Take a look at this shocking video. And then it's like people being very racist. Can I find that? I need to find that. Give me the Clipperino. Yeah, here we go. 172,000 likes.
Sand monkey. Don't wave at me, you sorry f***ing sand monkey.
That's the opening of the video. That's the opening. ABC News, there's no evidence of migrants eating pets. YouTuber, here's 30 minutes of first-hand accounts of residents in Springfield, Ohio who say that pets are disappearing. And that's the opening. This is 172,000 likes. This is what they're opening with. This is the front. This is like the first step, the first foot you're putting forward. He's paid by Russia. Yes, that's true.
There was Haitian.
This is the Tyler Oliveira guy. This is the guy who was doing AI YouTube video thumbnails of like black guys with their pants hanging low, holding AR-15s, like threatening a cop. Like he does videos where he goes to towns that have poverty issues and he's like, yep, this town's been overrun by blacks. Mm-hmm. And then he goes to the next one.
In a white van driving around the neighborhoods.
See, like this is the quality of journalism we're getting here. 172,000 likes.
Collecting cats, skinning them and eating them.
In my opinion, they're worthless. Bunch of worthless f***ing sand monkeys.
They're getting.
This is what conservatives consider to be a good argument. First of all, that's not even the right slur. That whitey, that fucking Yakubian experiment is so stupid. That's not even the correct slur. That's incredible. How do you fail on that? Where does he think Haiti is?
getting thousands of dollars in government assistance, even the cash assistance cards.
I like the hick with no shirt on right behind. It's like you know exactly what kind of person they're talking to. There's just no way to talk about this without getting accused of classism by the most annoying people in my inbox, but like, holy shit, dude. He thinks Africa, which is all dead. Yeah, like Haiti, Africa, exactly. I can't watch the video because it's almost certainly content ID'd by YouTube because Tyler Oliveira is a YouTuber. I took one look at that guy's channel and look at this. Oh my god. Yeah. No, this is literally like every one of his videos. He gets huge views just by, I mean, he uses AI constantly. It's all partisan hack bullshit. Incredibly racist. Anyway, I guess I think it's pretty shocking that we've reached a point in the conservative discourse where a video that opens with people who are supposed to be agreeing with Benny Johnson just using racial slurs out the get-go, that is the argument they feel comfortable opening with, you know? We really are returning to like a 1950s level of discourse where you're going to have people in Springfield, Ohio walking around with signs just, you know, with slurs on them. They want a pogrom. That's what they want. They want a fucking pogrom. At least they think they want a pogrom. If a pogrom actually happened, I'm pretty sure that it would be used as like a pretense for a crackdown on right-wing protests because the relationship between the pogrom and the right-wing media inciting violence would be pretty direct. But I don't know. Maybe the Democrats are too pussy to do anything about that. I saw a vid of somebody calling the Springfield PD to ask if they'd gotten any reports of people stealing pets, and they said they were literally none. Yeah, no, there are none. This story has been completely debunked. Conservatives have admitted it's been completely debunked. J.D. Vance was on TV after the debate saying, yeah, there's no evidence of it, but that doesn't mean there's evidence of it not happening, which is a real thing that can happen. That's the level that we're at right now. They are committing to reinforcing a lie that has been admitted to being a lie. Like it's crazy.
They're calling them the magic money cards because they never run out.
I want them to know I don't like you. Pack up and move back to Haitieville, where the fuck you're from.
Yeah, man, that's so true. Okay, Kona. The real reason you can't take racist eugenicists seriously is that any fair and reasonable eugenicist policy would also target this guy. We want to get the low IQ racists out of our country. Okay, if we're being consistent, there's no fucking way this guy makes that cut. Are you kidding me? This guy? Cannibals would pass over this man. They'd be worried about the effects his humors would have on their cognitive abilities. Your body betrays your degeneracy. Exactly. I'm sandwich man. He does look like a ham sandwich. I grew up around racist bigots, so I've heard this shit before, but I was surprised by how emboldened they become over the years. Yeah, and how, like, broadcasted it's getting, you know, or I guess how, like, proud of it the so-called... Because the job of the conservative intelligentsia has always been to, like, massage and launder and make palatable this racism, you know? And now it seems like they're not even trying anymore. Did you see the governor is sending state troopers to Springfield, Ohio? For what? Mike DeWine announced new state support for the city of Springfield, which is dealing with significant stress on its healthcare and public safety systems due to the influx of Haitian migrants. Yeah, gotcha. Nice. The only threat to public safety there is coming from the fucking whites who want to do a mass lynching. Governor DeWine announced today he's dedicating $2.5 million towards expanding primary care access to everyone living in Springfield. I mean, that's fine. I'm fine with that. I'd like, okay, sure. I don't doubt that their healthcare systems are being tested. I just think that means they should have more money in their healthcare systems. Well, where's the money coming from? Here's the money. It can happen. To address the increase in dangerous driving in Springfield by inexperienced Haitian drivers. Bullshit. Is there any evidence of this happening? One traffic accident from a Haitian driver. Can I get some data on that? Have there been any car accidents from, like, white drivers in Springfield, Ohio? Beginning tomorrow morning, OSHP troopers will patrol local roads with the highest crash rates and hold accountable any driver who drives erratically. Okay, so they're pulling over black people. Gotcha. I wasn't born yesterday. I know exactly what that means. I heard Midwest drivers get shittier every week these days. Well, yeah, they want to die. Can you blame them? I mean, have you seen what the average resident of Springfield, Ohio looks like? What do you think they're living for? I won't apologize. You woke mob motherfuckers. You come for me. You come for the king, you better not miss. That's all I have to say. For fentanyl? Yeah, I guess that solves the problem pretty quick, though, doesn't it? Did anyone ask you to apologize? Well, at this point, I'm being overly defensive, mostly for, like, comedic purposes. Mostly. Oh, Marion Williamson. Continuing to dump on Trump because of the eating cats issue will create blowback on November 5th. Haitian voodoo is in fact real. And to dismiss the story out of hand rather than listen to the citizens of Springfield, Ohio confirms in the minds of many voters the stereotype of Democrats as smug elite jerks who think they're too smart to listen to anyone outside their own silo. What? Remember how I've said before that believing in horoscopes is a warning sign for fascism? Because belief in, like, esoteric spiritual nonsense is both A, something the Nazis love to do, and B, allows you to assign, like, essentialist personality traits. That crankery also tends to lead to conspiracism. It all comes back around, doesn't it? You know? Again, this is literally like... They did this with the Jews, man. Continuing to dump on Hitler because of the eating cats issue will create blowback in the fucking elections. You know, Jewish voodoo is effective. It sounds stupid, but it's literally what they did. This, like, oh yeah, their backwards mystical beliefs will... It's identical to what they did. Who's Marion Williamson? What are you... Belgian guy, I'm checking your chat logs. Okay, you came here in August 2024. It's possible that you're 5 years old. Marianne Williamson was a 2020 presidential candidate for the Democrats. She ran mostly to promote book sales, but she seemed to be fairly principled. She was very active in speaking to others. I had her on stream, and I thought highly of her. I don't really have an explainer for this outside if you believe in crystals, you're Hitler. Money, probably. As a general rule, if you see these weird turnabouts from people that you can't explain, it's because of money. This is crazy, man. Oh, you Democrats are repeating the same mistakes Hillary Clinton made. You're reinforcing the belief that you're just a bunch of coastal elites by not listening to the deranged, provably false, conspiratorial claims of right-wing grifters, signal boosting, random, rumor mongering in a random Midwestern town saying that an influx of black migrants are eating their pet. Like, if you actually cared about the working class, you would take these concerns seriously. I remember that her campaign was like $250,000 in debt, and she paid the whole thing out of pocket back in July before she dropped out. So yeah, she's probably short in cash. Don't underestimate Haitian voodoo. Listen, okay, I've seen The Princess and the Frog. Did you see what that motherfucker could do? He could high five his own shadow. Can you imagine the power at the fingertips of a person who can do something like that? He's got friends on the other side. That's what they think is happening right now over in Springfield, Ohio. Marianne Williamson, you've got skinny 6'8" motherfuckers with top hats called like Baron Von Voodoo or something doing a little jig over a cat skeleton. Fucking Buen Samdi going to make a deal and sacrifice the whole town. Dr. Facilier is at Springfield, Ohio. It's over for them. You're losing Democrats the white retard vote. The white retard vote was never in our hands, I'm afraid. I'm sorry. I think we gave up on that one, folks. We're losing the white retard vote. Nah, I'm still here. White retards in chat. Rise up. Raise your hand. White retards for Harris. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Benjamin, with respect, you're the last human on Earth I would trust the gut assessment of when it comes to whether or not a public figure that you respect is grifting, because you look up to all of them with stars in your eyes. The truth is, I'm actually the only public figure who has principles, the only one in existence. Bernie Sanders, one time, in 3rd grade, he got paid $5 to, give his homework cheat sheet to another person. Back in, like, 1912. $5 back then. That's like, you could buy a car with that. Fuck. Got a nickel. No kidding, COD 117. Disappointing. Never have a fave. Oh, man. Do you think it's possible to start being as dishonest? Right? Yeah, it's possible. I don't know why you'd want to. Being dishonest doesn't actually help you that much when it comes to political viability. I mean, the real issue here ultimately is like, there are a lot of overlapping issues, but unfortunately, it's just really difficult to be it's just difficult to appeal to everyone. Keep in mind, we're fighting an uphill battle because there's a multi-billion-dollar industry that lies nonstop to stupid people. And again, that's very essentialist, very undialectical. It's true. It's true. Fuck you. It's true. Eat my ass. It's true. Those motherfuckers out there in the Midwest, they turn on, they get in their Ford F-150, they turn on the radio, they're listening to conservative talk radio, they go to wherever they're going, which is 35 minutes away because they live in the opposite of a walkable city. You know, they get out, they go into the convenience store so they could buy a pack of cigarettes. Like Fox News is on the one shitty CRT TV hung up in the corner of the building. They stare at it for a bit, they go, yep, Kamala, she's Indian, yep. They go back in the car, conservative talk radio, go home, Fox News. Like, unfortunately, it's just really, really, really difficult to break people out of this stunt, you know? Jesus, you described my parents just now. Yeah, and like you're trying to pull them out of that. It's not a natural state of mind. There's nothing natural about being racist. There's nothing natural about being that kind of crazy xenophobic or fearful. It is a state of mind that has been deliberately cultivated to serve the interests of the bourgeoisie. That's it. That's it. You're fighting uphill against that. There's nothing innate about it. You know, maybe without conservative propaganda being funneled into their ears nonstop, the average Midwestern white would still dress like shit and have bad taste and have terrible food. Fine, maybe. But the political opinions they have are the product of very deliberate cultivation, not just the accidental byproduct of them being white and uneducated. You know, that's not the case. Please watch the NC rally. You said please, but there are so many links to get through. You shut your mouth about Midwestern food. You're grouping in Illinois. Us Illinoisans season our food. Look, you're not the part of America that people go to for good food, okay? I'm just sorry you're not. You've got the Sun Belt. You've got New York City, which is maybe the food capital of the world. You've got, like, all of Texas, basically. You've got California. Like, you're just... There's great, like, Japanese food and Korean food in Seattle as well. Like, there's a lot of good shit. And Chicago has a lot of good shit, of course, because it's a major city. But the Midwest, broadly, you know, it's just... Diversity brings in good culture. That's it. It's that simple. It really is that simple. Diversity brings in good culture. And you know what? I'm going to say it, too. I'm going to say it. I really do think there's basically a one-to-one on diversity and the quality of your cuisine and culture, which is why I would put New York City above any other place in the world, food city-wise. Because in New York City, if you don't like the style of food you're having, congratulations, there's infinite more. If you go to Paris, you better like French food, motherfucker, because they are not as welcoming to other cultures in Paris as New York is to other cultures that aren't like American or whatever, you know? I hope you like French food. Tokyo has a lot of amazing Japanese food, but if you don't like Japanese food, I hope you like Japanese food, because you're not getting a phenomenal Mexican restaurant in Tokyo. Maybe somewhere. It's a huge city. But overall, you want options. Now, thankfully, I like sushi, so I love Tokyo food, you know. I'm not a huge fan of French food, though, so I don't know how well I'd do in Paris. That's not true. There are so many immigrants in Paris right now. Yeah, but Paris has never been the multicultural, like, melting pot that New York City has. The French are way the fuck more protective of their cultural identity. That's true. That's true. And I'm not arguing about it either. That's true. And I'm locking the door and I'm shutting the windows. And I'm leaving my phone on silent and I'm muting my notifications, okay? I don't want to argue this point. You're not getting to me. What local cuisine is good in Seattle? Mostly anything that has to do with fish. We get amazing fish here. Unfortunately, I'm not a big seafood guy. The French are so smugly overprotected their culture. Yeah, yeah. Aren't there like giga wildfires in the Amazon right now? What the fuck does that have to do with anything? There's always giga wildfires in the Amazon. That's just life, you know? Your grandchildren will never even know what the Amazon was. That's just how it is, okay? Food diversity is terrible for us autistics. It means less chicken nuggets and so on and so forth. I sympathize with people who are picky eaters because I'm a very picky eater, but sometimes I feel like people take it way the fuck too far. You all know that tweet from the person who was like, there was like the tweet said like boycott Kellogg's, and the quote tweet was, as someone with very serious sensory issues and who can only eat frosted like Chex Mix or whatever, boycotts are ableist and you're not ready for that conversation. Bait. There are people like that. Gun to your head, you can only eat one meal for the rest of your life. What is it? Dude, it's got to be beans and rice. That, in terms of your macros, that shit, like, you could live a long life off of that, and you can change it in a lot of ways, you know? I know that's a basic one, but that's kind of the point, right? Expand to burritos? Yeah, maybe. Like, a burrito is basically just beans and rice, but in a container, which, yeah, I guess. Is there a good replacement for beans? I feel like beans are a really unique food, you know? Like, they're a protein option, but I feel like beans occupy a really specific place in the, you know? Vosh seems like the type of guy to pour mayo on his white rice. Do you think I lost 100 pounds by pouring mayo onto my white rice? Have a little bit of respect. Beans are good for the environment, both as a plant and a protein source. Yeah. Did your brain ping spike? What the fuck was that? Just, you know, white rice. You gotta lean into it, man. It's the music within me. If Vosh ate white rice, he would put cilantro and lime in it if he has class. Bro, I grew up in Los Angeles. If I season rice, it's a bit of butter, cilantro, lime, like cumin, maybe? Yeah. Not putting mayo in my white rice. God. Cumin. Cumin. Cilantro rice is so good, yeah. Vosh is racist because he would never eat brown rice. Well, after my little health scare, I've looked into the difference between simple and complex carbohydrates, and since then I've been trying to eat brown rice. Brown rice is really tasty. It's just a little bit more calorie dense than white rice, you know? But it's got the fiber. It's got the fiber. What health scare? I did a big blood test, and I kind of misread the results before my doctor got back to it, and my blood sugar was too high in the pre-diabetic range. And I was like, oh, time to be healthy now. But that was only my blood sugar at the time, and my average blood sugar levels were not only good, but they were like well into the good. Is that a health scare? It was 24 hours of me buying like 6 loaves of keto bread at the grocery store. And then I got the results back from my doctor, and the doctor was like, yep, you're in perfect health. I'm 30 now. I don't have the luxury of you young people of going like, I can just eat like a cup of lard and a bunch of pixie dust and alcohol and make it, you know, make it to the next morning. I have to fight for every day now. If I lose my grip on life for even a moment, it's lost to me forever. It took you 24 hours to buy 6 loaves of bread. Okay, fine. You can make fun of me for it, but it's not like buying 6 loaves of bread. It's more like me being in the grocery store staring with like an empty mind at the keto bread section, thinking about death and wondering if I'll ever get to have a pretzel again, you know? Like, okay, like, let's have a little bit of sympathy. You are the person in math problems. Anyway, yeah, then I got the results from the doctor and I reread it. My average blood sugar is actually really, really healthy. The only thing that I'm lacking a little bit of is the good cholesterol, the H1C or HC1 or so. I forget what it's called technically, but the good cholesterol. So for that, I just need a little bit less trans fats, and HCl, thank you. I need a little bit less trans fats, and I need maybe to lose a weight, just a little bit more exercise, which is fine. I wanted to anyway. I need to lose a little bit more weight for me to fit in the shirts that like properly scale to my shoulders without having to tailor the shirt, you know, so. What do you eat in a day besides beans and rice? Usually when I wake up, I have some yogurt with flaxseed, oats, and granola in it, and a little bit of Pez because I'm a whimsical little boy, and I have some coffee, and then later I have either beans and rice mixed with chicken stock or a chicken-based meal, like chicken nuggies or like some chicken breasts or whatever. Just got to get the protein in. And that usually leaves me like 600 calories for the rest of the day. And what I usually do with those is I forget to eat until 11:15 p.m. And then I go, holy shit, I still have 600 calories. And then I have like a giant brownie that is exactly 600 calories. And then I pass out and wake up the next morning with like a little bit of heartburn because I had a giant brownie right before going to sleep. And that's my routine. Yeah, well, we get hungrier, Teletech. Pez the candy? Pez the candy. It's only 35 calories for a roll. Not even a Pez dispenser? No, not even a Pez dispenser. Bro, I tried the black bean and rice Vosh suggests to make. I loved it, but I was flatulent the whole day. You know, the whole, like, beans make you gassy thing, that doesn't happen forever, right? Like, the probiotic digestive network that your body needs to effectively digest beans and other stuff, if you eat beans and rice consistently, it's not... Yeah, the gut bacteria develops, and it stops being an issue, you know? It's just like a fiber thing. Yeah, you want to have healthy gut microbes. Your body will adjust to it. Have some yogurt. Eat some probiotics. You'll be fine. All right, that's enough. Yeah, after signaling it, I guess he's fully committing to it. Donald Trump is pussying out of another debate with Kamala Harris. Considering the fact that he got absolutely trounced in you know, in the debate he had the other day, I can't say I'm especially surprised that he doesn't want to do another one, but it's pretty insane that he's going for it this, I guess, aggressively. When a prize fighter loses a match, the first words out of his mouth are, I want a rematch. Polls clearly show I won the debate against Comrade Kamala Harris. Or wait, they say Kamala Harris. the Democrats' radical left candidate on Tuesday night, and she immediately called for a second debate. She and Crooked Joe have destroyed our country with millions of criminals and mentally deranged people pulling da 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 da. She was a no-show at the Fox debate, which she refuses to do NBC and CBS. Kamala should focus on what she should have done during the last almost 4-year period. There will be no third debate. How easy is it to throw this down into the pit when the first thing the Trump campaign did after Biden lost their debate was say they wanted another one? Remember? Trump was giddy to do another debate after Biden lost his. And now they're like, actually, wanting to do a second debate is what happens when you lose the first one. Yeah, sure, man. Sure. I know, like, right-wingers are going to be coping about this. They're going to pretend. I need you guys to be really obnoxious about this online. Okay? You need to call him a pussy over this. He is a pussy over this. You need to be obnoxious about this. It's very important. There is no easy way to defend this. 2 nights ago, Donald Trump and I had our first debate. We owe it to the voters to have another debate. I think also another point of evidence to how, I don't know, how pathetic this looks, how obviously he's running and cowering, is that Donald Trump said to Fox and Friends he would probably not agree to another debate. If you, as a campaign, don't want to do another debate, that's definitely something that you should have, like, a committed position on, rather than, like, waffling on it, you know? Oh, I don't really want to. Oh, you know? It really makes it look like you're just wondering whether or not you'd be able to get away with another one. Where's that Fox and Friends clip? Are we still getting a VP debate? Yeah, we should. The former president, once eager to schedule a second debate, seemed not so sure. Oh yeah, look at the wisdom from Mike Collins. You want to know who won? Find out who refuses to do a second debate from right after the debate ended. Curious.
Thought it was our best debate ever. It was my best debate ever, I think. And we had it was very interesting. It showed how weak they are, how pathetic they are, and what they're doing to destroy our country and the border with foreign trade, with everything. And I think it was the best debate I've ever personally that I've had. We're getting polls that show 92 to 6, 88 to 11.
I think he was citing Twitter polls here. Like, I'm not joking. I think he was citing, like, or he just heard those numbers. Yeah, he was. Yeah. Newsmax and Twitter polls, or Nate Silver at this point. Did Nate Silver get just bought? He works for Peter Thiel now, right? Nate Silver just works for Peter Thiel. Yeah. Man, it really is crazy how I'm the only person in politics who has principles. That's awesome. He works for Polymarket, which is owned by Peter Thiel. Polymarket. Aren't a lot of people... Haven't I heard that before? Oh, that's right. They work with the Young Turks. Join.tyt.com/polymarket. FAQ. What is Polymarket? Polymarket is the world's largest prediction market. Yeah, I remember. They've been buying up a bunch of political real estate. Teehee. Did you see that shit TYT put in their community tab? No. It's bad, man. Yeah. Should I take it as like a incredible sign to my perceived credibility that I don't even get emails from right-wing grifters offering to buy me out? I mean, should I be insulted that I don't have the reach, or should I be complimented that I don't look like I'm a soft target for that kind of behavior? Maybe I need to like complain about my finances more. Maybe I need to be like, oh, I need to develop some really expensive like worse than the fashion thing. It has to be like new cars or something, you know? Oh, I don't know how I'm going to pay this one off. And now then I get an email like, hey, we have a solution to all your problems. That feel when no Russian wants Vosh. Yeah. What's the most right-wing position you'd be willing to sell out for? All right, tell you what. This would be like a really deep cut, okay? I become a detrans grifter. I transition and then detransition after 6 hours. And I say that 6 hours of me looking at DIY estrogen tutorials online permanently ruin my body, you know? I feel like I could get a lot out of that one. And then all the people would be like, you know, like, oh, everyone's been like, oh, Vosh is trans, Vosh is trans. Like, well, yeah, see, they were pushing me into it the whole time. Solid. I think it's a good get, you know? I could make a few, like, mil off that one, I think. Shave your beard and say that mentally distressed you. That would be true, though. Harris campaign spokesman Quinton Fulks affirmed Wednesday on CNN that Harris, quote, is open to a debate in October. But if I were Donald Trump, he said, I would not want to debate Kamala Harris. Yeah, I need you guys to run with this one, like, as much as you can. Stephen Miller had a meltdown. The clip is wild. Wait, over him refusing to do another debate? Can you find the clip?
What would need to change for you to agree to a second debate? Would you want different rules? Would you want a different format?
Well, you know, when you don't win, it's like a fighter. When a fighter has a bad fight, gets knocked out, or loses the fight, the first thing he says is, we want a rematch. So we won the debate according to every poll, every single poll. I think that, are we going to do a rematch? I just don't know.
But we also won against Joe Biden, and the fact that we immediately said we wanted a rematch should not be taken as evidence that we lost that debate.
We'll think about it.
Would you still do the one on NBC on September 25th? You proposed that. Are you still committed to that?
I would do NBC. I'd do Fox too. I'd do Fox too. But right now we have to determine whether or not we even.
Why run with this one? Because okay, why run with this one? For one, fascists don't care about being right or wrong. They care about being strong or weak. Refusing to do another debate makes him look incredibly weak. For two, you can literally just call him a pussy over and over without having to substantiate the argument at all. There's no details to get dragged into. There are no weeds to get caught in. It's literally just, haha, he's a pussy. It's super easy and simple. It's a really easy thing to run with. For three, it's incredibly easy to come up with like counter arguments, the positions they have, because Donald Trump's excuse, winners don't want a rematch, is easily debunked by the fact that he won the debate against Joe Biden and wanted a rematch, you know? It's just such an easy thing to go through with. In fact, it's so embarrassing for him that it genuinely makes me wonder if he's going to flip-flop on this later. You know? I mean, they still have the official presidential debate coming up, don't they? What's the date of the official one? The one that's actually hosted by the government? There's like a scheduled official presidential debate, and the earlier ones are just hosted by news networks. There is? Yeah. Am I misremembering this? Isn't the last presidential debate the one that's officially hosted by the government? I thought there was none. Is this just like a phantom memory? Is this like a prion unfolding proteins in my head? What's going on here? It's a prion. It might be a prion moment. Yeah, very sorry, dog. Ah, well, you know. Still, you guys should run with it. Oh, and by the way, I should say, you know, while I'm asking you guys to do something, while I'm making, what do they call it? A call to action, okay? Here's another suggestion. Here's another one, all right? You motherfuckers need to go down to the damn Reddit, you know? You need to swim through the piss and shit for a moment because PV's they're cooking something, all right? My brain may be host to prions, but you still have a chance at making a difference. All right? We got to start pinning this stuff down in the comment. They're cooking. Over in Wisconsin, big event, October 5th and 6th. Lots of canvassers up there. You got to sign up if you want to go, looking to get people in their local canvassing houses. If you are out there canvassing in Pennsylvania, you are basically like a soldier for the future. You are fighting a war for the American people, okay? You are stronger than you could possibly know. Get on out there, motherfucker. And we always need people call the phone banking, you know? We need you making the calls. I'm serious! You say, everyone's like, oh, okay, it's interesting, I'll take a look, but then you don't do it. What, so you have more time to jerk off? Your balls already have an acceptable amount of cum in them, okay? You don't need, that's not a pressing issue, all right? They're fine. They don't need additional maintenance. You need to put your fucking dick and balls in a nice sturdy pair of walking pants and get your asses out there. I'm sorry, I'm Canadian and can't do U.S. election stuff. You can phone bank, motherfucker. You can phone bank. You're allowed to phone bank. You don't need to be in Wisconsin to phone bank. Wait, that's allowed? Yeah, you can call. You just can't donate. Why is the latest PV section on second channel not main? First of all, everyone who complained about that, I better see your asses down there in Wisconsin or I'm putting you in the device. Why did you put this video on the second channel rather than the main channel? It's like you don't even care about progressive victory. If you aren't in Wisconsin, I am grabbing you and twisting, okay? You're gonna complain? Get your asses out there, you fucking whiners. For two, I know how channel analytics work, all right? You people won't watch that shit on MC. You get a video on MC that doesn't do as well, YouTube's like, fuck you, you're going in the pit. So what you do is, you put the PV plugs in little interim segments in the middle of the bigger stuff. So when people are watching videos about how Elon Musk threatened to impregnate Taylor Swift, they get the little mid-roll that's like, hey, you want to be useful to society? You want to not be a worthless fucking worm? Then go work with PV. I know how it works. Meanwhile, you lazy motherfuckers, you're out here watching HoloLive as soon as I go offline, wondering, why isn't Vosh done more? Fuck you, piece of shit. What's wrong with VTubers? Go canvas! Look, we have a live in-person testimonial to the benefit of you people leaving your house. Vosh, I really want to say thank you. Monday, you offhandedly said talk to your neighbors, so I did. Made friends with a neighbor, went out for drinks with them the day after. Today, I was walking when I saw 8 cops on their porch. And after I talked to my neighbor to see what was going on, I started to record the cops who quickly got off their porch and left soon after. Okay, I'm not going to lie. That story had more twists and turns than I expected. You know? Yeah. There was some stuff in there. I hope they're okay. Good to help people. Oh yeah, can we get rid of the progress thingy? Because that's outdated here. We should do some cleanup on that. Here, I'll do it. R-add progress, because it's outdated. It refers to older. What? Did somebody do it? Eddie, you did it before me! You guys are so good to me. You guys are so nice to me. Oh yeah, for sure, Thane. I completely forget to... I gotta be better about that. I have, like, no memory. Okay. Thank you, mods. Okay, so what's this Stephen Miller freakout clip? This freaky little white nationalist? White people, we are the superior race. The white people in question. Hello. Sir, you, it's like an Unreal 5 demo. Look at how many independent sources of reflection you can get from one man's face. You are shiny.
What will happen? All these Day one.
All these criminal migrants that have been flooded in the country are going to be the first to get thrown out of here.
Oh, okay, so for those of you who don't know, this guy, he's done advisory on immigration policy for the Trump campaign. He's a white nationalist. It's pretty explicit. He's in the J.D. Vance camp of being one of these greasy, like, 4chan neo-Nazi types where he's not as concerned with dog whistling, and when he does dog whistle, he does it while grinning like the fucking Grinch, you know, because he's so clever and smart. He's in that, like, category of guy.
I mean, you've seen case after case, these heartbreaking tragedies. Those ones are going to get found and deported first. And look at this Venezuelan gang. You have a Venezuelan gang that is taking over entire apartment buildings in Aurora, Colorado, and that's responsible, by the way, for some of the most heinous crimes that have happened all over the United States. The crime rate in Venezuela is down, I believe, a little bit over 60% over the last several years.
Are you trusting the official figures from the Venezuelan dictatorship?
Let's put it this way. If you're a dictator of a poor country with a high crime rate, wouldn't you send your criminals to our open border?
That wasn't my question. Are you trusting the figures of the dictatorships? Those are Maduro numbers.
Believing Maduro numbers?
I am believing that it is in the interest of a criminal dictator to let his criminals out of their jails and
he just sounds so stupid when he says anything. Yeah, no, I genuinely, yeah, Stephen Miller, I think maybe it's just how he sounds or how he is. He's a stupid guy. You don't have to be smart to be a smarmy internet neo-Nazi. In fact, being smart would be a detriment to that point, because if you were smart, you wouldn't be that, you know? There is a direct relationship between IQ and racism, and it's not the relationship that white nationalists want you to think it is. This is another, they're coming, they say, the woke left, they're like, IQ isn't real. Well, then explain the relationship between it and being racist to me, motherfucker, because I think there actually is a pretty strong scientific argument to be made for the, you know, the usefulness of IQ as a metric. It just doesn't point the way they think it does. It's incredible. The correlative lines between fear response, racism, and IQ, motherfucker, you aren't bright. Do you think he even understands how stupid he sounds? They never do. Self-assuredness is also a low IQ trait, except when I do it.
To our country.
Do you have numbers, real numbers, not dictatorship numbers?
The Venezuelan gangs that have, you've seen the CCTV footage. I have a question. Who do you think? Answer me this.
My family is from Venezuela. I know very well the situation of Caracas and many other cities.
Right, tell me, who were the people with the high...
Who were the people? He sounds the way I do when I'm making fun of you with a stupid voice. Okay, so listen to me. Who were the people...
powered rifles in the hallway of that apartment building? Who were they?
They were gangsters from Venezuela.
Right. No American community.
But I was asking to you about figures, numbers,
what I'm
facts.
saying to you is the facts are the dead bodies. The facts are...
You said that Caracas has a lowest crime rate than the USA.
The facts are the mutilated bodies. The facts are the people in the morgues that are dead.
I was asking you about Caracas and the numbers in Caracas. Are you trusting the numbers of the dictatorship?
I am trusting the fact that Kamala...
yeah, how dare you not let me evade the same question 9 consecutive times? Don't you know? Journalists are supposed to only force me to dodge the question 8 times.
Harris is letting illegal immigrants into this country who are raping and murdering children.
I had been very respectful. Why are you yelling?
Do you know who Jocelyn Ungary is? Do you know who she is?
Do you know how many people is experiencing violence in Caracas?
Who is she? Who is Laken Riley?
Why are you yelling again?
Because I'm yelling because children are being raped and murdered.
I was just asking for figures, and you have not replied to me about those figures.
Murdered. Do you know who Kayla Hamilton is?
Do you trust the numbers of Nicolas Maduro? I'm asking again.
I trust a ruthless dictator will empty his prisons and send...
By the way, quick question. Why can somebody explain to me how it makes sense that a dictator would, quote unquote, empty their prisons and send their criminals to America as opposed to just executing them? Like, how are you sending them out? Why wouldn't the criminals stop in, like, Mexico or Honduras or something? Why would they, like, go forth, my criminals, march up, like they're a commissioned military unit? Like, how are they ensuring, do they have, like, commissars with them who will shoot them in the head if they ever stop going forward? Do they have, like, escorts? Do we have videos of the Venezuelan commissars that are accompanying the penal colony legions that they're sending north? How does any of this You know what a political prisoner in Venezuela, am doing as soon as I make it up to the United States? Definitely immediately jeopardizing my stay in the United States by committing crimes. You kidding? You've been given a ticket into the United States of America? Vosh, 2 words, migrant catapults. Yeah, they have like MERV ICBMs being fired out of Venezuela daily. They fire a big one right up north, and then they deploy to 1,000 like mini missiles, little drop pods with 1 criminal in it per each, and they all like land across America and immediately go committing arsons or something. Why is Miller so fucking emotional? Well, because his argument is an emotional one. Kamala Harris is letting illegal immigrants rape and murder children. It's like it's a low IQ thought terminating cliche that doesn't correspond to reality. Illegal immigrants commit less crimes on average than domestic Americans. There's absolutely no front for this argument, but it's an emotional one. It's only meant to sound good if you don't think about it. So the fact that this reporter isn't like giving up on this question, it's a really simple question to ask too. Or sorry, to answer. Like Stephen Miller could say, we are using those figures, but we have no reason to believe they're inaccurate or whatever. Like I mean, there are many routes he could take around this, but Stephen Miller just isn't that bright. He's not a very smart guy. None of them are. If they were smart, they wouldn't be who they are. These people aren't like the Republicans of the 1980s and 90s who are like, I don't know, essentially businessmen who craft lies to a very deliberate end goal. These people have bought their own product. They're high off their own supply. They're brain rotted in the same way their constituents are, you know?
Send their criminals to our country.
So you trust his numbers?
The most dangerous gang in Venezuela is
you
now
trust Nicolas Maduro?
I trust that he does not want his criminals to be...
So you believe in his numbers?
I believe he's sending his criminals...
Another pointer, by the way, is how soy he comes across here, you know? It's like, it's a man who's unused to being angry, you know what I mean? Like, well, maybe it's not that he's unused to being angry, it's that he's unused to being angry in a masculine way. Like, look at him, he's like, he's doing this, like, preening... Come on, Steven. Don't get too worked up now. American media coddles these fucks. Yeah, 100%. Widespread journalistic malpractice. Every news org in the country knows the game, which is that if you ask real questions or you push too hard, you don't get invited for another round of questioning. That's why the rare times you get actual, like, real questions, that is some of the foreign journalists when the Secretary of State speaks, because the government is, well, at least I should say Biden's administration isn't as willing to throw people out or deny them the ability to attend press conferences if they're a little rowdy, whereas Trump would. Remember? Trump would kick people out of the press briefings very readily, because again, fascists cannot stand being questioned. Their stupid bullshit can't stand scrutiny, so they need to immediately, like, shelter themselves from criticism.
Criminals to our country.
And do you think that the crime rate in Venezuela have decreased?
Do you not believe the law enforcement reports of Venezuelan gangs in this country?
I was asking for the Venezuelan government figures, not the figures here.
Or not? Are Venezuelan gangs in this country or not? Yes or no?
What are the figures that you say to say that in Caracas the number is lower than in the USA?
Are Venezuelan gangs in this country or not?
So you don't have numbers?
You know who has numbers? The Department of Homeland Security. You can ask my...
I'm getting a real Dan Herschel vibe from him with this. Don't you think so? I keep expecting him to, like, paint red, like, war paint on his face and scream as loud as he can. It feels like a bit. Henschel. Yeah, Dan Henschel.
New York is for numbers. You can ask the Director Ray for the numbers.
Sir,
I'm telling you.
You said that in Venezuela the crime rate is lower than the USA.
Yes, because
what are your numbers? That's my question.
Because the criminals are here now.
Those are Maduro's numbers.
I can tell you, again, that Border Patrol agents are encountering thousands
trust
of
Maduro numbers?
I trust the border agents in our country.
But and I am not saying that Caracas has a lower...
How would border agents in our country have reliable figures on A, the Venezuelan crime rate, B, the American crime rate, or C, crimes committed by Venezuelan migrants in the country? That's not their job. That's not what they do. They're at the border. That's a completely different thing.
Crime rate.
Children are dead, and you...
It's so fucking soy, dude. It's so emotional. Men are too emotional to get into politics, I'm telling you. But this is the shit that works with the Republican base. They're stupid and emotional, you know? You can't answer the same question asked to you 20 times in a row. So they're, babies are being eaten, man! Infants are being, blended! You fucking... Ah! They're eating the cats! Ah! Please, someone get me the Henschel fucking screaming in the car bit. My voters are all morons!
You are wasting my time.
No, I am not wasting your time. I'm asking for facts as a journalist.
Do you have any remorse for the dead children?
Yeah,
do you care all about the dead children?
The blended babies!
Then that's what I want to leave you with, is that Donald Trump will
was just asking for figures.
Here's what's going to happen. Donald Trump is going to be elected president, and the migrant gangs are going to be sent home. Children's lives will be saved. And you know who will benefit the most? Are the working class Hispanic communities that are...
He's bringing it back at the end of all this. He's like, hold on, we have to make an insincere appeal. And you know who most stands to benefit from the babies that we will save from the blenders? The Hispanic working class. Thank you. Please vote for the person who I work with, a white supremacist.
Are besieged by gang violence.
So you don't have figures.
Public schools that are being overtaken by migrant gangs. You have MS-13 that is brutalizing children. You have Kayla Hamilton, who was a 20-year-old autistic girl who was raped and murdered, beaten to death. That will end. That will stop, and our children's lives will be saved. That is the most virtuous thing that can possibly be done.
Virtuous.
You're going to save...
How you can tell when a person gets their political education from the internet, when they use the term virtuous. You can read these pointers so easily in like where they get their information from. No regular beat politician would use the term virtuous when screaming about MS-13 raping autistic girls. Like the word would not be in the vocabulary here, you know?
The lives of our children. We will not let Kamala Harris condemn them to a life of misery, suffering, and death. Thank you.
I have not replied my question.
Nice. Yeah, that's about right. Man, I love the reminders that we get now and again that they're like comedically inhumanly stupid, but unfortunately this stuff does work with a lot of people. Did none of you get the fucking Dan Herschel video? You guys suck. Me with you guys.
Students are all morons! I give them everything they need to know, and they still fail. Always! And it's not because I'm a bad teacher. I'm a very good teacher. It's because they're stupid! And then the parents ask, why aren't you teaching them good enough? Why didn't you teach them to read?
This genuinely, like, the cadence isn't that far off from Stephen Miller, and also he's right.
It's your fault your kid's stupid, not mine.
These aren't the same guy. Maybe they are. Have you ever seen Dan Henschel and Stephen Miller in the same room together? Yeah, I haven't either. No fashion check on the suit that looks 8 sizes too large. Are you simple? Is there water in your head? It's a joke. It's a bit. That's why he's wearing an ill-fitting suit. Yeah, I gotta say, I agree with what he's saying here, by the way. Isn't it fucking crazy now how if students underperform, it's the teacher's fault? Or both, like, the parents and the teachers are having meetings to discuss how to teach their kids? Like, I get it if there's, like, a special needs thing, or if, like, a teacher is racist or whatever. Like, I understand. But yeah, sometimes your kids just shit. Sometimes your kid just sucks. I think that teachers should have more I think teachers should be able to kill one student per semester. Like a really annoying one. I know, Benjamin. 4 years seems a bit much. Well, it's only 2 semesters per year when you're a kid, right? It's only that's you 4 semesters is when you're in college. Right? No? Doesn't it vary per school district? It's always 2 per year, lol. I don't know. I've been out of school for a while. There were schools with 2 and schools with 4? Okay, yeah. Kids would shape up real quick. Yeah, I feel like it'd be good for them. Feel like it'd make them stronger. If you're watching and you haven't hit the like button, by the way, you would have been one of those students. YouTube chat, I'm looking at you right now. Me who had racist teachers. Okay, fine, we'll balance it out. And like the kids can choose one teacher every semester to be sentenced to the device. How about that? Is that fair? That's got to be fair. I'm just trying to bring back that, like, what is it? The Greek, what is it? The like practice they had? Was it in Athens or whatever? Where every year they would all write the name of the guy they found most annoying. Ostracism? Yeah, they would all write the name on like a piece of pottery. And the guy who got the most votes got exiled for a decade. I just want to bring that back. What's the difference between the device and the contraption? You can only really tell if you've been in both. I'm a second-generation Haitian, and while I have a good feeling about the outcome in November, the shit against Haitians is really demoralizing. They're good people. Yeah, I'm actually against Haitian immigration, not because I have anything against them personally, but because God clearly hates them. You know? It's earthquake after hurricane after earthquake after hurricane after, like, you know, World Bank and IMF push neoliberal reform after, you know, trade issue, after disease, after outbreak, after... It's like, God damn! UN spreads pandemic in half their country, yeah. Why are there bad earthquakes in Haiti but not the Dominican Republic? Because Haiti was the first real break from slavery, you know, the first country to truly free itself, and God's an authoritarian. Haiti really is the dog died, cat died, mom died, house burned down, goldfish died, car crashed of nations. Blame it on the French? Yeah. The French are chosen by God, but it's an evil God. Isn't Griffith French in Berserk? I don't know. Isn't all of Berserk kind of French? There's a lot of French stuff in Berserk. I mean, it's all like Western, you know, medieval. It'd be like French or Germanic. It doesn't really come across as English, you know? More Italian than French. Yeah, Italian too. Europe S, yeah. The Holy See is clearly Italian. You know what I love? I love economics.
That they're telling about you that you don't agree with.
Well, I think one of the things that says, for example, about Donald Trump's economic policies is that somehow they're going to jack up inflation, which is rich coming from Kamala Harris, whose economic policies have directly led to inflation.
Tariffs are inflationary.
Well, not always, right? Let's just take.
They're either inflationary or people aren't buying the products anymore.
Well, let's just take one example. So one of the classic examples that economists use to attack, or some economists, I should say.
Never forget that the tariffs that Trump levied on China were so disastrous that basically all of the revenue that we got from those tariffs had to be given in aid to farmers to counteract the economic damage it did to them. $28 billion in federal aid to farmers, more than the Department of State got, or the nuclear forces, or NASA, just to counteract the damage that was done over the as a consequence of those tariffs. In 2018, U.S. farmers' soybean exports to China declined by 75%. And these tariffs were targeted. The tariffs that Donald Trump is advocating for now, up to like a 20% just across the board tariff, it'd be ruinous to a degree that I don't think you guys can understand. I don't think you can even fucking fathom it. People love to you know, talk up how disastrous certain economic policies would be, and I know that we've gotten kind of accustomed to a nothing ever happens attitude with big seismic changes like this. This would be ruinous to a degree that you couldn't even begin to imagine. No, I don't think it'd be worse than the Great Depression. I think it would be probably more comparable to the 70s economic crisis, or maybe we get 2008 all over again in terms of like relative economic damage. I don't really know. It could be like another 08. It could be like the oil shock. I don't know. I don't know.
Used to attack Donald Trump's economic policies is the tariffs that he imposed on washing machines and other dishwashers. So they show a chart that says, well, look, a few months after this tariff, the price of dishwashers went up a little bit. But if you look over 2 years, actually the price of dishwashers went down. You induced a lot of American factories to invest in American workers and American-made products, and the price of—
And yet we have not regained a local manufacturing sector. So where do those jobs come from? I mean, I don't know why I'm pretending that he can answer me. He's lying, so it doesn't really matter.
Dishwashers has actually lagged behind the price of a lot of other home appliances. So sometimes when you induce investment and capital formation in the United States of America, it does lower prices on American workers. And again, the experience of Donald Trump's presidency, he was president for 4 years. He did impose tariffs sometimes to induce more investment in American workers. And what happened? We had 1.5% inflation, rising take-home pay, and the best economy for workers in 40 years.
That's different than across the board tariffs, though.
But when people say that Donald Trump is going to destroy the economy, he was already the leader of the American economy for 4 years. We had rising prosperity, broad-based middle-class wage growth.
Senator, that is here from taxfoundation.org. The Trump administration imposed nearly $80 billion worth of new taxes on Americans by levying tariffs on thousands of products valued at approximately $380 billion in 2018-2019, amounting to one of the largest tax increases in decades. The Biden administration has kept most of the Trump administration tariffs in place, and in May 2024 announced tariff hikes on an additional $18 billion of Chinese goods, including semiconductors and electric vehicles. So the reason for this is because Biden wants to specifically develop the electric vehicle and semiconductor industries in the United States. I still disagree with these tariffs, but these are tariffs that are being targeted in sectors where there's already an effort to develop a domestic manufacturing base, you know? In this case, this is Biden desperately trying to protect our electric vehicles from the superior and much cheaper Chinese ones. The Americans must buy nothing but $60,000 Ford F-150s. So I still disagree with these policies, but it's part of a plan. An across-the-board tariff, like what the Trump administration is currently gunning for, psychotic. Absolutely psychotic. Do you have a take on the Nippon U.S. Steel buyout? All I know is that Nippon Steel is folded over 1,000 times to preserve both strength and flexibility. So I suppose that if they're buying out our steel, that means we're going to get a lot stronger. Much research to do. Can you prove that Chinese electric vehicles are superior? Sure. Google cost of Chinese electric vehicle and then Google cost of American electric vehicle.
It's a record I'd like to get back to.
Senator, I think the question, though, on the tariffs is, and it's where Joe is going, because they're across the board and they're not as targeted, it's unclear. There are certain industries that, unfortunately, we don't have. Now, would it be great if our country were to invest in some of these industries that we're...
I don't understand why he does this. This doesn't benefit neocons, doesn't benefit fascists. Why does he do this? There are two reasons. One, because it panders to the interests of the low IQ, you know, we're going to do everything in America, made in America, ha 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 crowd. And for two, and this is one that people don't like to talk about, you know, because it's a little bit spooky to think about, the modern bourgeoisie are a-national. You think that billionaires today are, like, rooted to a country? Corporations set up headquarters in other countries all the time. In reality, the economic success of the United States domestically isn't, like, a huge factor in many... Like, a ton of our billionaires and our businesses profit massively from the, you know, the manufacturing base and production in China and in Bangladesh and in India. I think that in truth, we're reaching a point where America's interests are being dictated by a wealthy elite who don't even care that much about America's economic success. You want to know other examples of this? The entire developing world. Bangladesh, most of, you know, fucking Southeast Asia, most of Africa, countries outside of the imperial core, many of those countries are led by people whose ability to run their countries more or less depends on their willingness to be, to capitulate to foreign capital. Latin America, this is a well-known problem outside the imperial core, right? Their countries remain underdeveloped as long as they remain, I guess, fertile vessels of investment for Western business. Folks, what happens when the imperial core stops being a nation and starts being an amorphous collection of legal entities that can change nations whenever they want? Well, then everyone falls outside the imperial core.
That we're missing on the manufacturing side, but the amount of time it may very well take to, quote unquote, induce every industry to invest here to manufacture. That's the complication with the plan. So when you see, for example, like a Goldman Sachs report come out suggesting that this actually becomes not just a massive tax, but a massive drain on the economy, what do you think? And then just a related question, because a lot of people have said this. Do you believe that the entire across-the-board tariff would go into effect, or is it should we think of it as some kind of negotiating cudgel, if you will, with China for other things?
Well, first of all, I do think that it's negotiation. Donald Trump is a negotiator. He believes in using tariffs for negotiation, but he also does believe in using tariffs to induce more manufacturing, more capital formation in our country. But, Andrew, the problem with the argument here is when people say these tariffs are going to have an effect, Donald Trump already imposed specific tariffs on specific industries. You didn't see the negative consequences come to light.
Do you understand what I'm talking about when I say that? This is what people talk about when they talk about late-stage capitalism. Through the 1940s and 1950s, in the West, we saw a massive raise in the standard of living of the average American worker, in large part because of economic globalization. Now, all of the really shit work could be done by people in Bangladesh, people in India, people in China, people outside the... Well, not in China at the time, you know, like, you know what I mean. You could start exporting the really, really, really bad jobs. You could push them outside the imperial core to people who can't vote, right? Because no matter how mistreated an American worker is, they're still a member of our democracy and they have the ability to sway the outcome of elections. So why not have the really shit work, the slave work, being done outside the country where they don't have that power, you know? Much of the economic development of the 20th and 21st century has been finding ways to maintain slavery, like in a de facto, like, what is the productive capacity of this group sense, without there being political consequences for it. So you move it outside the country. But eventually you reach a point where countries become so interconnected and capital flows so freely across borders that nations are no longer a route for corporate capital. Multiple trillions of dollars are held in offshore accounts, you know? The Panama Papers, we know about this. It's not a conspiracy theory, it's just a fact that we know about that nobody wants to do anything about. Tens of trillions removed from the economy, removed from taxation, because the wealthy just want to sit on it forever. In truth, we say Elon Musk is the wealthiest guy on Earth. We have no idea who the wealthiest person on Earth is. We have no clue. We know who owns the assets that are evaluated at the highest cost or whatever the fuck. We don't know who really has the most money because that shit is off the grid. And as long as it's off the grid and all the productive, you know, the systems of capital acquisition are detached from any specific nation's well-being, you arrive at a system where, in effect, everyone is now outside the imperial core because the imperial core is no longer a country, it's a few boards of directors. You understand what I'm talking about? Now, I'm not saying that America is in the same position as Bangladesh when it comes to, like, relationship to imperialism and capital. I'm saying that, look, this is very, very, very simple, okay? Global proletarian solidarity. We are all up on the chopping block here, you know? We're all up on this. Ooh, Rothschild family, don't you denigrate my economic analysis with your half-hearted anti-Semitism. This has nothing to do with the Rothschilds or the whatever the fuck, okay? Go look at the Panama Papers. None of it's a damn conspiracy theory. It's all like facts. It's just plain factual information. And we should all be concerned about it. Mind you, the fact that our system is pushing the bourgeoisie in this direction, that does not mean it is a rational or sustainable direction to move in. As standards of living decline globally, so too will the portfolios of the bourgeoisie, you know? Like, nobody benefits from it. We're moving in an irrational direction in terms of capital acquisition. It's going to cause problems. It's going to cause problems.
In fact, what you saw was rising wages and rising take-home pay. So when people say you can't do this in a narrow way, you can't do it in a broad-based way, I just think...
So what's the end game? Eventually it's all going to fail, and then what? I don't know. What do you think I can read the future? Do you think this is the first time that a nation has been driven to ruin through the greed and short-sightedness of the investors who profited from that nation's resources and labor? Because that shit happens all the time, man. We're just not used to it happening here. Literally Rome. I hate you guys. This has nothing to do with Rome. We're not talking about an imperial collapse due to its own internal contradictions. We're talking about an external economic entity. Don't just immediately default to the first. Use your heads. I just said you think this is the first time a country has collapsed due to the greed of its investor class? What about Latin America? What about Southeast Asia? What about resource extraction in Africa? Come on. This has happened before. Use your damn heads.
Town. If the path to prosperity was flooding your nation with low-wage immigrants, then Springfield, Ohio would be the most prosperous country and the most prosperous city in the world. America would be the most prosperous country in the world because...
J.D. Vance, my man.
Kamala Harris has flooded the country with 25 million illegal aliens. What's actually happened is that over the past 3.5 years,
what happens when oil is too expensive to obtain? Okay, you're getting my goat. You're mistaking my basic class analysis for soothsaying. You think I can see the future? I can't. I'm only telling you. I'm only extrapolating from trends that we've identified, basic trends that we've identified concerning the relationship between capital acquisition, nations that are being exploited for their wealth and resources, yada yada. That's all I'm talking about here. I'm not saying I can see the future, okay? I don't know what's going to happen when oil is too expensive to obtain. I can't see the future. I'm just telling you to be concerned about this, okay?
We've had this massive influx of illegal labor.
Why do they always call them illegal, even though the migrants from Haiti in Springfield, Ohio are legal? I don't know. Curious.
What's happened? We've had skyrocketing inflation, lower take-home pay, Americans more dissatisfied with the direction of the country and the economy than they've been in a generation. This is not the path to prosperity, no matter how much a Wall Street bank says that it is. Now,
why does the Republican Party keep calling non-white immigrants illegal, even if they're objectively legal and here legally? Really activates my almonds. What do you think a president could do feasibly to make the American economy stronger now that this end of the imperial core promises? I'm not saying it's necessarily the end of the imperial core. I'm just saying that the prosperity of the United States of America is not really like a huge priority for companies that you would expect would benefit from that. But you know, you got to rein in the bourgeoisie a little bit. You got to bring them to heel. You know, speaking of things that correspond to the end of the nationalized imperial core, cryptocurrency is actually a pretty great example. Cryptocurrency might be primarily promoted by lunatics, but there's a reason why people like Peter Thiel are so interested in it. It's a perfect example of the kind of thing you can use to fleece people in a way which is completely divorced from the, you know, sort of national prosperity of the country that you live in.
Join me live on Twitter Spaces at 8 p.m. this September 16th for the launch of World Liberty Financial. We're embracing the future with crypto and leaving the slow and outdated big banks behind.
This is extremely low rent. Jesus Christ. How much can crypto really be worth if this is the best promo they can afford? Is this Trump coin? Nah, they probably just tossed him a $5 to promote it. It's probably not like Trump coin. Or if it is Trump coin, that's still pretty funny. He called it Twitter? Yeah. I mean, fuck, even Elon still calls it Twitter. No one calls it X. Hold on, I gotta piss real quick. Okie dokie. Scram. Cryptocurrency already exists in the form of online banking and debit credit cards. That's not cryptocurrency doesn't mean currency, but it's digital. It means currency, but it's crypto. I'm afraid you'll have to refer to a 2-hour Dan Olson video to get more from that, okay? Good video. I don't think they were your boy coming. All right, what do we got? What do we got on the goddamn docket? One of my favorite Frankfurt theorists, Alfred Sohn-Rethel, notes there is a structural hatred of the working class by the bourgeoisie. Specifically, they need the workers, but also try to eliminate the working class out of the equation, e.g. automation to increase profits. The logical process of capital acquisition becomes irrational from a society standpoint. Yeah, 100%. I mean, we're already seeing that to a large extent. I mean, obviously, since they wrote in it, I think that this is a very provable theory. You know, I think we're already seeing the outcome kind of demonstrated. It's just a matter of how far it's going to go before something gets done about it. They do hate us. I say us like I'm a part of the, you know, I'm just a workaday Joe. I am, you know, I clock in at 11 a.m. every morning in the podcaster minds, you know, the streaming the streaming factory, and I work hard. I get my sweat on. Vosh is the face of the downtrodden. That's true. I would say I am of a noble proletarian breed. I would say this. Apparently, the Marjorie Taylor Greene Laura Loomer beef has escalated further, which I guess makes sense because they're both drama mongers. For those who have forgotten, Laura Loomer is a Nazi and close personal friend of Trump's, and Marjorie Taylor Greene is Marjorie Taylor Greene. So, what was the original thing Laura Loomer said? Oh God. Where's the original post here? Laura Loomer said something like, if Kamala Harris wins, the White House will smell like curry or something. Trying to see, whatever. I saw that yesterday. MTG is horrible at fitness. Well, sure. Laura Loomer is objectively more racist than MTG, though. And then MTG said that Laura Loomer is racist and not fit for the Republican Party. And then Laura Loomer said, once again, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is extremely jealous and vindictive over the fact that she wasn't successful in turning Donald Trump against me, is now behaving like a leftist and accusing me of being racist. Kamala Harris is on video calling herself Indian and saying she cooks with curry. She also refuses to speak to the media, so there is a strong likelihood that she would set up a call center to avoid speaking to the press and being honest to the American people. Oh, that's right. Okay, so this is a really common racist thing. Laura Loomer said that if Kamala Harris wins, you would only be able to communicate with the White House via call center. Get it? Because like Indians? Yeah, here we go. The American people will only be able to convey their feedback through a customer satisfaction survey at the end of a call no one will understand. And after being called racist, Laura Loomer is like, I'm not racist. Actually, I have very specific, legitimate excuses for the racist things that I said. You're racist for assuming it was racist. That kind of thing, you know? Hey, MTG, speaking of racism, one of your former staffers told me you have a favorite word that starts with N. What if the staffer has a video? It's rather ironic that MTG wants me to call a racist, wants to call me a racist, when MTG is a full-blown anti-Semite who believes that Jewish people use space lasers to control the world. Along with being an anti-Semite, MTG is also a poor excuse for a Christian. Her marriage failed because she couldn't keep her legs closed while she was a new member of Congress and was too busy screwing some guy from her CrossFit. She is not representative of the GOP or what it means to be America first. Nobody talks about her anymore because she's annoying and irrelevant and a sellout. I mean, all this is, you know, That's true. Hey, MTG, how come you weren't at the debate? Guess you gave up on Trump when he gave up on your boyfriend, Speaker McCarthy. Don't talk about representing Donald Trump when you paid for the ye. Ye? 2024 domain and used your campaign funds to orchestrate the dinner between Nick Fuentes and Kanye West. I exposed you months ago, and I'll do so again, you trailer trash harpy. Damn. Ye. Really came for her. That's crazy. Since when were tweets so long? Tweets can be as long as you want them to be now.
And this is such an important election. I don't think that she has the experience or the right mentality to advise a very important president.
Why do you think the former president is even listening to her? She's getting bad advice, or he's getting bad advice from her?
I'm not involved in their conversations, so I can't weigh in on that. But I do know this, that her rhetoric and her tone does not match the base, does not match MAGA, does not match most Republicans I know. And
it is very funny. It's like, you know, heartwarming. The two worst people you know are fighting. Laura Loomer is basically just a Nazi. MTG is like a QAnon Facebook aunt in the sense that she's insane and definitely racist, but I don't think that Marjorie Taylor Greene is, how do I put this? I don't think Marjorie Taylor Greene is ideologically racist in the sense that I think that if you could like give her a truth serum and she could only say true things, I don't think she would say like, yes, I believe in the objective superiority of the white race. Yes, my position, I use dog whistles to advance the interests of a white nationalist agenda. I think she's more in line with like the crazy QAnon, like lunatic conspiracy theorist kind of, like it's more circumstantially bigoted. Now, that's not like defending her at all. None of that is intended as a defense of her personality or character, you know? Whereas Laura Loomer is ideologically racist, as in she would like defend it as a program. Does that make sense? There is an important distinction here. At the very least, it could be like a vibe thing, you know? It's more like which direction you lean in.
I'm completely denouncing it. I'm over it. And I would encourage anyone else that matches her statements to stop.
Is that distinction functional? It is in cases like this, yeah. In cases like this. So MTG is genuinely dumb enough to be a true Trump cultist? Yes. No. That's the point. Yeah, 100%. I think that MTG actually believes the stuff that she says. Which kind of makes her unique, you know? That's why she's so annoying. Do you think her concern about Loomer's tweet was genuine? Yes, I do. Again, I really do not think that Marjorie Taylor Greene is that, like, because to be that kind of racist, that, like, sneering, deliberately dishonest, anti-empiricist Nazi, that's, like, a very modern internet. It's not modern, I should say, but the current trend of that behavior is, like, online neo-Nazi 4chan irony Pepe posting bullshit, which she does not subscribe to. That's not her style. She's a lunatic, but that's not her style. And I think the distinction here, you know, the distinction that we're seeing is mostly, look, they're both optical nightmares, all right? They're both optical nightmares. How much has this gone on? Little bit of a history lesson for a few of you. Laura and I used to be friends going back to 2018. I used to defend her and support her, like in this post here. I endorsed her first run for Congress, donated her, and fundraised for her, and then she lost. Then when she ran again against Daniel Webster, I told her to run in another district so she could win, but she refused. When I didn't endorse her, she turned on me, began attacking me and lying about me. I still advocated for her to get her former Twitter account back, now X account. Now X account. Laura has lied so much about me and others like Matt Gaetz. Even though we are President Trump's most loyal and fierce elected members of Congress, she breaks a few good stories here and there, but there are many others she embellishes or flat out lies. However, her attacks have no bearing on me, nor am I concerned with what she says. As a matter of fact, outside of a bubble on this platform, most regular people don't know who she is. But when it comes to posts that are flat out racist, hateful, and make President Trump look bad, she needs to be responsible and delete them. This is weirdly moderate for MTG. Part of it is probably because it's actually like interpersonal drama because they have known each other for a while. But I really do think there's a difference. Marjorie Taylor Greene is like 40 IQ and it is genuinely a MAGA cultist. Whereas Laura Loomer is a sneering, antisocial, you know, neo-Nazi type, right? Laura Loomer's more like Milo Yiannopoulos. So I think the break here is one of sincerity, right? Like genuinely, that's the cut. Not true. I turned on you when you decided to do the bidding of Kevin McCarthy. Oh, this is Laura Loomer responding. You used to text me telling me, quote, please dig up information about who McCarthy is sleeping with. You used to ask me to assist you all the time with research, and then you sold out the people who supported you and started doing his bidding, even though McCarthy is anti-Trump. That's why I don't like you. Then you escalated it when you used your campaign funds to pay for the Ye2024 domain to sabotage Trump, and when he suggested you would not be his VP pick. I exposed this, and it was even confirmed by Rolling Stone. You even faced an FEC investigation over this. You literally tried to set Trump up, and then you supported McCarthy's candidates who ran against Trump-endorsed candidates. You also lied about releasing the J6 tapes, and it's shameful behavior. You go with the wind. You betrayed everyone who supported you from day one, and you sold out to the swamp. You have no conviction or loyalty, which is why I want nothing to do with you anymore. 200 comments, 400 likes. Incredible. Incredible. How much of this has gone on? Holy... Is this a different drama? Mucho texto. Maybe she's the leftist. Now they're beefing with Lindsey Graham? Lindsey Graham has never been loyal to President Trump. He got booed in his own state at a Trump rally. It was booed off stage because he is disloyal to Trump and the American people. He probably shouldn't be giving out stuff. I think this is like pure infighting. Laura, it is true though that Laura Loomer is not liked. Like part of it is the fact that she looks the way she does, which, you know, we're going to indulge in a little bit of petty, you know, just a little bit. Where's that tweet? Where's that tweet? Find me that damn tweet. Yeah, here we go. The fact that Laura Loomer went from a normal-looking human to Jigsaw has to be one of the craziest things I've ever seen. I think this is edited, but let's just believe that it's not. Fine, here's an unaltered photo. Okay, here's an unaltered photo. There we go. Is it on? I don't even know if it's unaltered. I genuinely have no idea. It's kind of hard to tell with her. I have no idea. These can't be real? Let's just assume they are. You know, can we just assume they are? Is that fine? We'll say her face has advanced to a point where it's hard to tell. So part of the general dislike of her is just that she's scary looking. And that's a factor, right? You know, she's a plastic surgery addict, which under most circumstances would be kind of sad. But under these circumstances, I'm okay with just being mean about it. So there's that. In addition, she is a anti-charismatic, smarmy neo-Nazi type, you know, just I feel like there are some people who might say like that's an unfair characterization when she's Jewish, but like you can, if you look at the totality of her record and the stuff that she said, I think she's earned that designation far, far, far more than like many other people. Like I have no problem calling Candace Owens that. She's black. Candace Owens is out there doing like Holocaust denial shit, but Laura Loomer has been on that line for longer than Candace Owens has. You know, she's been getting wacky with it for a while. Part of the reason Laura Loomer isn't liked is she's just too radical, or maybe she's just not good enough at hiding her intentions. What do you guys think? I mean, Christ alive, look at her Wikipedia page. She's been described as espousing anti-Muslim, white nationalist, conspiracy theorist views, has worked for Project Veritas, The Geller Report, Rebel Media, and InfoWars. Banned from numerous social media platforms, violating policies on hate speech and posting misinformation. Yeah, she's my age. She's 1 year older than me. She's also an attention whore. She literally chained herself in front of Twitter's HQ pre-Elon Musk because she was protesting a Twitter ban. I remember that! That was a good one. Does this not have the video? Wait, I want the video.
All
Man, she was spitting back then, huh? This is over a Twitter ban. She's been active for a while, man. Sheesh. In 2017, Loomer claimed to be dating alt-right activist Tim Gionet, who had tweeted a photoshopped picture of Loomer being executed inside a gas chamber, referencing the killing of the Jews during the Holocaust. Gionet denied the pair were dating. She has additionally attended events with Nick Fuentes and has spoken at Fuentes' white nationalist greeting America First PAC. Yeah, I feel like my characterization of her is pretty accurate. That's Baked Alaska, right? Is Tim Gionet Baked Alaska? Yes, that's Baked Alaska. Haven't heard that name in a while. What was the point of what we were saying? What were we getting at? What were we getting at here? Oh, right. The point of this segment is that this is exactly what Laura Loomer looks like, and it's very unpleasant to the eye. I think that's the point of the segment. Really, I do like the infighting because it draws more attention to the relationship between Laura Loomer and Donald Trump. And the fact that Laura Loomer was with Trump on Trump Force One right before the debate is insane. Like, insane. Like, really think about that. Of all of the officials, of all of the people who could potentially be prepping him or like spending time with him before his presidential debate, Laura fucking Loomer. Yeah, here she is getting out of Trump Force One on the way to Philadelphia. Insane. My favorite Laura Loomer fact is that she started an ISIS fan club at her college to prove that liberals would join it, but nobody joined and she got expelled for starting an ISIS fan club. Is that true? That sounds too funny to be true. Son of a bitch. In March 5th, 2015, Loomer used a concealed video camera to record her conversation with Barry University officials discussing the idea of starting a club called, quote, Sympathetic Students in Support of the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. The school apparently asked only that the club's name be changed to Students in Support of the Middle East. Project Veritas released a video of the encounter, alleging it captured a university official unfazed by the idea of an on-campus organization supporting ISIS. I really doubt the people they were talking to knew what the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria was. Shortly thereafter, the university suspended Loomer for violating the student code of conduct, and a professor shown in the video filed criminal charges against her for recording him without his knowledge. Okay, a little bit different from the Twitter version of the story, but you know. She was also banned from Uber and Lyft. She really is just like a remarkably reprehensible and vile person. She goes beyond just being politically malevolent and into like in every element of her life, interpersonally, politically, socially, just a horrible human being. And she was with Donald Trump in Philadelphia right before the presidential debate. Isn't that insane? Fucking Giga Hitler. Wow. Space, don't be weird. Well, we love our cat fighting. I feel like my mustache feels weird today. You ever get any facial hair Andes in chat? You ever get that feeling a little bit like not like the texture necessarily, but there's just like it just feels like off that day. Vosh denim shirt. No, it's indigo dyed. It's the same dye that denim uses, but it's a hemp cotton blend. I'm actually really fond of this. I don't think that the color shows that well over camera, but it's got like a really rich, you know, it's indigo. I don't think it. Yeah, see? It has a fly. Yes, it's a short sleeve Henley shirt. Originally underwear. You know. Where'd you get it? Buck Mason. Nice material. Thank you. The reason why Henleys have buttons around the collar is because they're meant to be underwear that wraps closely around your neck. And back when Henleys were a thing, they didn't have cotton weaves that were as stretchy as modern t-shirts. Cotton was a lot thicker and it was a lot less stretchy. So in order to get everyone's big fat heads through the neckline of a crew neck Henley, they had the buttons. You would undo the buttons, then put your head through, then snap the buttons, and you had a crew neck before crew necks were really a thing. Originally, it was just a necessity because otherwise you couldn't have it like the neckline be that close to the neck. And now it's a fashion thing. Are you aware that you look like JD Vance with a fake beard and glasses? That doesn't even make sense. You need to try so much harder than you're trying right now. You need to wake up a lot earlier. Fake beard and glasses? First of all, what are fake glasses? For 2, he already has a beard. For 3, we share no visual similarities, apart from being white and having a beard. I mean, I'm offended, but by the laziness. You know what I mean? Like, you tossed your life away for that. You're going to prison now. You came at the king by throwing a tomato, and you threw like a girl. Besides, we all know the real person that looks like JD Vance is John Wayne Gacy. It's actually kind of uncanny. Some of his older pictures. Like, if you add a little beard to that. Oh, this one looks even more. Look at that, dude. Holy. That one. That's a deep cut. "1920s butcher" right now? Yeah, well, John Wayne Gacy. Yeah. Did you see this? Oh, I saw this. Springfield City Hall School County hit by threats tied to Haitian immigration concerns. City Hall evacuated, county offices closed, parents at one Springfield school asked to pick up children early. I know how to help the poor, underprivileged people of Springfield, Ohio. Bomb threats. That'll definitely help. That's, you know, that's great. Love, as always, the one-to-one relationship between the right wing sharing fake stories of really anything happening in a city, any of their fake stories, and bomb threats, you know? Average right is solution to every problem. I just think it's a nice reminder that people on the right do not give a shit about improving life for anyone. Anyone. None of them are like, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to Springfield, Ohio, and I'm going to provide resources to the white people there. Like, they're not even being helpful in the context of the group they pretend to care about, you know? It's exclusively just, I want to cause hurt, I hate people, I want to share hate. That's it. That's it. That's all they do. It's like the #1 way to condemn the perceived sincerity of the white supremacist. White supremacists do not like white people. They just hate non-white people. White supremacists are not going out there in real life not going out there online and being like, yeah, I care about the white race, so I'm going to go to Springfield, Ohio and provide, like, you know, sandwiches or housing assistance or whatever. They don't give a shit. They never do that. Their behavior is motivated entirely by hatred.
Aren't we all supposed to be someplace else?
Yo, hold on. Sheriff coming in with the drip. I love old-fashioned sheriff's department uniforms. I love them more than you could imagine, dude. With the hat, with like the sheriff hat with the tassel and the white shirt under the short sleeve button. It looks so good. I love it so much.
Are you gonna be standing?
Yes.
Oh.
All. This is everybody. Yeah.
Unironic?
Is everybody
Yeah,
happy?
it looks great. What do you want? I don't think the cop uniforms look good at all.
Yes. Everybody's on. And if everyone could give your name, your first and last name before you speak, just because we may need to.
You gotta wear the hat? Of course you have to wear the hat.
And a spelling, that would help. Thank you.
My mother's maiden name, yeah, the usual.
One time. Good one time.
Good afternoon. My name is Allison Elliott. I'm the Chief of Police with the Springfield Police Division. I want to thank all of you for being here today, and I want to thank you for your patience. I'd like to reiterate that today we will not be taking any questions. Everyone that you see back here standing with me today played a vital role in our response. City of Springfield officials were alerted to a bomb threat by email message this morning at 8:24 a.m. The email was sent to multiple agencies and media outlets. This public safety threat prompted an immediate response from local and regional law enforcement and our public safety partners. We take all threats to public safety seriously, and our primary concern was the safety and well-being of all community members. Due to the serious nature of this threat, all of the occupied buildings were evacuated, and authorities investigated and cleared all facilities listed in the threat with the assistance of explosive detecting canines. Those locations include City of Springfield City Hall,
I was
Bureau
quoting
of
you,
Motor Vehicle
Fox Fright.
Springfield Driver's Exam Station, Ohio License Bureau South Side, Springfield Academy of Excellence, and Fulton Elementary School. Out of an abundance of caution, additional locations were investigated and cleared, including the Clark County Court facilities. We are currently partnering.
Imagine the KKK doing a bake sale to help white people who couldn't pay their rent. I know that sounds insane, but if you actually think about it, that should be what they do if they believed the stuff they say they believe. They talk about white culture, but they wear the same global capitalist monoculture $5 t-shirts that anyone can get from Target. They eat whatever food's available to them. There's no adherence to any particular cuisine or aesthetic or fashion or whatever. They don't care about the culture. They talk about loving white people and wanting white people to prosper. They don't volunteer, they don't help, they don't donate, they don't do anything. They have no ideology outside of hate. There is no love of white people. And like, there's nothing wrong. I'm so, pardon me for fronting a position the woke mob will hang me for. There's nothing wrong with loving white people. I love myself, and I'm told this, a white man. I can't see race. I don't see color. I've been told I'm a white man. I love myself. Okay, I'll take it at face value, right? There's nothing wrong with that. I would prefer one be undifferentiated in their love. I don't think race should play a component in one's love. But if the worst thing white supremacists did was go out and volunteer and do charity, but only for white people, they wouldn't be that big of an issue, would they, folks? They wouldn't be that big of a problem to the world. I still think that'd be bad because, like, you know, why are you being preferential about it? Why can't you be, you know, sort of undifferentiating in your love? But if that was the worst they did, it wouldn't be that big of an issue. But that's not what they do. They never do that.
With the Dayton office of the Federal Bureau of Investigation to identify the source of this email.
That is true,
I would like to take a
DCL
moment to
Zexon.
recognize
They used to,
our
at least.
Springfield Police Division officers and all of the agencies.
Well, not really, because Hoteps make up a culture that isn't real. The, like, Black Hebrew Israelitism. The Black Israelites back in, or sorry, not the Black Israelites, the Nation of Islam did care. For all their mistakes, they did care about black culture. There was a care there for black people. They did make an effort to make the lives of the black people they cared about better. Modern day hoteps don't. In fact, it's actually a common joke in the black community. What's that one screenshot of the black guy on Facebook saying, you know, they don't want to talk about this, but blacks are the real Jews, and the reply to it is, if you don't pick up your daughter, motherfucker, we're gonna have a real problem. That it's like a joke in the black community now that these hotep types do nothing for black people, that they're just lazy, like lackabout dipshits who don't contribute or work, you know?
Who played a vital role in our response today, including the Dayton Police Department, Montgomery County Sheriff's Office, Dayton Airport Police, the Ohio State Highway Patrol, Clark County Sheriff's Office, Clark County Emergency Management Agency, the Ohio Fire Marshal's Bureau, Springfield Fire and Rescue Division, and the Department of Public Safety. Again, thank you all for coming today, because we know this is just as important to you as it is to us. Again, I would like to stress that we are deeply committed to the safety of our entire community. Safety is a shared responsibility.
Correct spelling of your name, please, Chief.
Yes, ma'am. Allison Elliott, ALLISON ELLIOTT.
And your title?
Chief of Police, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
We have copies of Allison's message today. If you'd like to take one of those. If you have any follow-up questions, you can email me at
Say 99% chance the guy asking how fair it is that they can't ask questions is probably a aggrieved white racist who wants to ask stuff like, do you think this bomb threat was from Haiti? Is this a Haitian bomb? Is this a voodoo bomb? Can this bomb do voodoo? Questions like that. Just a guess. I could be wrong.
Graves, GRAVES, at springfieldohio.gov.
A bomb swandi, exactly.
No, you do not.
Okay, I just want to make sure I had. Can you give me the names of the other individuals? Because I took a picture. The other individuals who were. In fact, I can show you the
City
picture.
Manager Brian Heck.
You're good. Huh? We still have video. I think the person who managed the technology for this live stream is perhaps not a top-tier leftist political live streamer. Okay. Man, that really was short. BS. Thank you, Tim Reed, 3020. Yeah, we saw that, Jessica Metal. You guys see this? The parents of the 11-year-old white boy who died after a traffic accident caused by a Haitian migrant have taken to media. It's quite sad.
Boy!
Was that as loud for you as it was for me? I've got a decibel limiter on the desktop audio. That was a fucking bomb in my ear. Okay, that who boy, why was that so loud? Okay.
Bernie Moreno, Chip Roy, J.D. Vance, and Donald Trump. They have spoken my son's name and used his death for political gain. This needs to stop now. They can vomit all the hate they want about illegal immigrants, the border crisis, and even untrue claims about fluffy pets being ravaged and eaten by community members. However, they are not allowed, nor have they ever been allowed to mention Aiden Clark from Springfield, Ohio. I will listen to them one more time to hear their apologies. To clear the air, my son, Aiden Clark, was not murdered. He was accidentally killed by an immigrant from Haiti. This tragedy is felt all over this community, the state, and even the nation. But don't spin this towards hate.
This guy has more strength in his pinky finger than every white racist in Springfield, Ohio combined.
In order to live like Aiden, you need to accept everyone. Choose to shine, make the difference, lead the way, and be the inspiration. What many people in this community and state and nation are doing is the opposite of what you should be doing. Sure, we have our problems here in Springfield and in the U.S., but does Aiden Clark have anything to do with that? Did you know that an 11-year-old boy could be passionate about gardening, that he could haggle for a better price at a yard sale? Did you know that he researched different cultures to better appreciate and understand people that he interacted with? Did you know that one of the worst feelings in the world is to not be able to protect your child? Even worse, we can't even protect his memory when he's gone. Please stop the hate. I said to Aiden that I would try to make a difference in his honor. This is it. Live like Aiden. Thank you.
This is not the first time this has happened. You know, the parents of a kid who died tragically saying, hey, right-wing media, shut the fuck up. Please stop weaponizing the death of my child to hate non-white people. And of course, this isn't going to lead to like any change in the rhetoric from the right because they don't care at all. Obviously, they don't care. They've never cared. It's just hate. They don't care. But still, massive props to the parents there. I mean, all the Sandy Hook parents. Alex Jones continued and continues to be a right-wing darling, even after the Sandy Hook business. I mean, it's not like they don't care. They do not care at all. I hope they file a bunch of lawsuits. I don't know how much legal liability there actually is out there, but you know. Yeah. Can't really say. You know, a lot of depressing news lately. It feels like we have to cover 57 stories every stream of the right wing being incompetent and demonic, and then we look at the polls and it's like Kamala Harris plus 2.9, Kamala Harris plus 3.1, Kamala Harris plus 2.8. How big is this? Can you tell us something good? Well, a bunch of people have gotten have gotten registered to vote. That's good. Following Taylor Swift's endorsement of Kamala Harris. I seriously don't understand how people can be so apathetic that they don't even bother to vote or can't decide between Harris and Trump. I'm not going to defend those people because I hate them and they're stupid. I will say, however, that I do think that to a large extent the Democrats have kind of sown the seeds of their own defeat here. Republicans inspire a lot of things. Apathy is not one of them. Not even a little bit. Donald Trump, since 2015, has been inspiring the opposite of apathy, both in his own base and in the opposition. But for Democrats, you know, they're still, even with Kamala Harris, they're very committed to the anti-populist messaging. Very committed to the same institutionalist, it'll work this time, we're going to work it out, you know, we're going to smooth it out kind of. You know what I'm talking about. Middle class instead of working class, yeah. Got to be a little bit more aggressive. Well, the reason why people don't want to understand non-voters is because, unfortunately, there's not very much to understand. Like, they're not... It just bothers me sometimes when I feel like from a left perspective, when they analyze this, when they talk about this issue, they talk about undecided voters in America like this noble, like this enlightened group whose interests and motivations we need to be more considerate of. And unfortunately, it's just that a lot of them are stupid and concerned with the affairs of their own lives and unaware of what's going on around them. It's like that you have to accept that. That's like a necessary acknowledgement for you to be useful in political analysis in that regard, which is one of the reasons why populism is a really good road forward to capturing those votes. It's not enough to just, pretend there's some, noble underrepresented group. You have to acknowledge the fact that people need a strong message. People need the opposite of apathy. People need, a sort of driving force to get them involved. Donald Trump understands that. It feels counter to so much of your talk about being pragmatic. I mean, what I'm doing right now is telling you the truth. You can talk to an undecided voter however you want to. I'm not telling you to go up to them and call them stupid. I'm just telling you that they're stupid. I'm not putting out an ad right now in Pennsylvania, I'm talking to you and I'm telling you the truth. You can talk to them how you want, but I'm not going to lie to you. Populism, Benjamin. Do you think it's stupid to not follow local politics? I understand people have greater. I think it's very important to follow local politics. I think that what is most important is national because, relative levels of power here, right? Like that is the most important. I think it's very important to follow local politics. I think that for the most part you can get a lot of mileage out of just voting blue down ticket, but I do think it's good to follow like specific primary races, if you have a chance at doing something better. I just think that like in a lot of cases, following politics literally just means having your eyes open. You don't have to be super lost in the sauce to understand that Donald Trump is a fascist who will unwind American democracy. You don't have to be like, super invested to get that. It's pretty obvious. And the fact that a lot of people don't get that, the fact that for a lot of people that knowledge isn't, Yeah, school board elections are important as well, for sure. There's always something going on. Always something going on. No kidding, Green Glen Wall. That's nice. I want to get more involved in activism. Do you have any recommendations on where to get started? I promise you there are volunteering groups in your area. You got to do research on what's available to you locally. Progressive Victory, by the way, could definitely benefit from having some folks canvass or phone bank for them. How often do you need to register to vote? Republicans will deregister you every other week. So if you re-register to vote twice a month, usually on like the first and third Tuesday, you should be fine. Any PV in Wisconsin? Wisconsin is the state that they are specifically doing a big event in. October 4th. Wait, no. October 5th and 6th. They're doing a big old canvassing runabout. Hit exclamation point PV for more details. I hate that you're not really joking. About Progressive Victory? Oh, about the deregistering. Yeah. Well. Any podcasts or commentators for Canadian politics? Why on earth would I know that? XQC? I get all my Canadian political news from XQC, yeah. I was the political director in a battleground state. Online lefties don't understand that voting is a habit. It takes so much to get people who don't vote to vote. Yeah, they just don't care. It's, you know, it's people aren't rational. People just aren't rational. Gotta accept that. It sucks, but you gotta accept that. And do make sure to check if you're registered to vote. You can do that online pretty easily. In PA, going canvassing tomorrow and Saturday, you are God's strongest soldier, ham and cheese sandwich. I'm spiritually blessing you, okay? Everyone in chat, Prega. Everyone, Prega for ham and cheese sandwich. All right? Give them strength.
And it is the talking point of AOC the other day, who is taking her marching orders from the DNC. This is exactly
ironic from someone who takes them from the Kremlin, but okay.
What they say, that we are only running for president.
Of color as parroting talking points instead of us looking at basic math. The one thing that AOC has done that you haven't is win some elections.
He literally only goes after Dems and say, yep, you will never catch Jill Stein going after Republicans. Only Democrats, 100% of the time. Nobody needs talking points. No, Jill Stein hasn't won so much as a bingo game in the last decade. Ooh! And if you actually give a damn about people, you organize, build power and infrastructure and win. Ooh!
Representatives, how many voting members in the United States House of Representatives, Republican, Democrat, and Independent? How many total?
How many total are there? What is it? 600 some?
It's the United States House of Representatives, dearie. How many voting members could there possibly be? 600? Holy shit, dude! Are you kidding? You've been doing this for decades!
How many voting members in the United States House of Representatives, Republican, Democrat, and Independent? How many total?
How many total are there? What is it? 600 some?
No,
you know.
It's 435.
She's either stupid or maliciously lying. Why would she maliciously lie in a way that makes her look like a fucking idiot? She doesn't care because she's never cared about building political power. This is like the most year one, day one, hour one, minute one thing you would learn if you had any aspirations of being politically viable. Though chat still seems to struggle with it, but that's okay. You guys aren't running for president. I need to listen to it again.
How many voting members in the United States House of Representatives, Republican, Democrat, and Independent? How many total?
How many total are there? What is it? 600 some?
No,
you know.
It's 435. How many voting members?
Okay, had to Google this because I didn't want to make myself look like a fool. 538 is called 538 because there are 538 electors in the Electoral College. It's 435 voting members of the House. Different thing. And that's okay. That's okay. You know why that's okay? That's okay because I wanted to very quickly check myself before saying that, you know? Now, if I didn't need to, then I'd be tearing into you right now. Why are the Electoral College different? What? It's a completely different system. What? Okay, I don't know what we're talking about anymore. Yeah, 435 plus 100 plus 3, but that's the Electoral College and the House of Reps. It's fine. I can see the dark road. I can see it. I can see the dark road we're going down right now. We're looking down the barrel of a 6-minute argument where none of us knows what our positions are because we don't know what the other person is saying. It's okay. The only thing that we care about right now is that Jill Stein is a dumbass. That's the only thing we care about. I need to watch this whole thing, man. If she gets torn into this much. No, stop, Benjamin. I'll ban you. No, no, no. What did I just say?
Members in the United States House
Why did
of
it just start
Representatives,
playing even though... Wait.
Republican.
Do Twitter videos autoplay to artificially boost how many views they have if you pause them but leave them on... Wait, hold on. No? Now this is good content. I think you scrolling up or something triggered it, like it auto reset. Okay, I'm going to scroll VGG. Okay. I scrolled here, it didn't do it. VGG, Twitter, VGG, Twitter. Scroll to the top, but that's not what I did. I didn't do that before. Maybe it was a ghost. I think it was a ghost. I'm willing to buy that explanation. I'm willing to run with that one. I'm willing to work it. I'm willing to work it. Ghost makes sense. I think it's the only logical explanation. All right, folks. I think I've oversaturated my editors with clips to work with, which is my way of saying that I have a long drive that I need to do to get my Adderall, which finally refilled after it taking too long to refill. I need to skedaddle, but I'm going to read donos first because I'm a kind and generous live streamer, you know? I don't know when I'm streaming tomorrow, only that I am streaming tomorrow. So Elden Ring tomorrow then? The more you guys talk about it, no talk of Hurricane. Fair, it was kind of weak. I could always talk about it tomorrow. If you're watching right now and you're thinking, what can I personally do to make America not descend into fascism? Folks, do I have a deal for you? Exclamation point PV. All right? You got to peep the Reddit, motherfuckers. They're having an event up in Wisconsin, October 5th and 6th, and they're looking for people to run in their canvassing houses in multiple states, and they need people to phone bank. If you're thinking, I know what you're doing. You're laying awake at night. You're thinking, I've already junked it. It's only 9 p.m. I can't fall asleep yet. I have nothing to do. The video games on Steam aren't interesting to me anymore. I can't afford a PS5, and it has no games anyway. What do I do with my free time? The answer is right there in front of you. It's right there. You just got to go to PV. Are all the ballot mule positions taken? No. We still have positions open for people to dump 20, 30, 40,000 Kamala Harris ballots at critical junctures in the United States to secure a victory for our coconut president. Seriously, take a look. All right, reading these donos. Bosky, thank you for the $5. We have discussed the Haitians, and I feel we're going to discuss them more, unfortunately. Chainsaw Chimera and ePunk246, thank you for the tier 2 subs. Really appreciate that. You won the lottery, ePunk246. Congratulations. You know, I don't know for how much, but nonetheless, nice. God has smiled on you. We love that. Zephyr21 and the Big Evil, thank you for the tier 2 subs both. I really appreciate that. Now you listen here, Vosh, try listening to the music made by Arcana. It's my issue with listening to music. I like listening to music sometimes. It's just, I'm probably not going to follow a recommendation offered to me through a dono, you know? It's got to be, there's like a vibe. Olympians, thank you for the two $5 donos. You realize the reason why the Chinese EVs are cheaper than they could be is because you realize that the reason why the Chinese EVs are cheaper than they could be using lower quality material. Did you source this dono text from China? Or did you use lower quality syntax for this donation? They could be using lower quality materials in the manufacturing, right? I mean, there's literally available data on the performance of these cars. In many countries, cars are cheaper. In America, they just overinflate the price because they hate you. Don't, like, assume that by default. Who is Dan Henschel? What did he do? He's a comedian. EA Monkey 2 and Count Jbach. Thank you for the tier 2 subs both. I really appreciate that. I'm glad you enjoyed the food in Berlin, Count Jbach. And EA Monkey. Really happy to hear that you're no longer a cringe borderline tanky. I'm glad you enjoy the content, you know? I really appreciate that. Flair with the $10. Thoughts on today's news that election gambling is no longer illegal at the federal level? Is that true? I think that's bad. I think that gambling is morally wrong, and I think that it should largely be illegal. I have like an unironic hardline syntax position. Not syntax like grammar, syntax on gambling. I think it's spiritually degrading. I mean, if I'm anti-gotcha mechanics in video games, wouldn't I be anti-gambling in general? Britmouse, thanks the tier 2 sub. Clearly they don't teach social skills at Yale Law School. I promise you, and I know that they don't. Appalachian Anarchist, thank you for the $5. Laura Loomer would go back in time to take the bullet for Hitler just so he'd live a few minutes longer to reload. Juzor, thank you for the tier 1 sub. Kowalski, thank you for the $5. To be fair to rural people, we've been kind of 1984 for 40 years with only conservatives being broadcasted out here. Yep, 100%. We need Democrat talk radio out there, you know? Olympians, thanks for the $5. Can you go over this video, please? A 57-minute video from Westside Tyler? No, I don't think so. This is the guy who came on and tried to argue fashion with me and then just started yelling, and then after I kicked him off, he was like, thanks for the content. No, I don't think so. Colton KP, thank you for the 555. Nice try, but I did remember to turn off TTS. Unknown Anomaly, thank you for the incredibly kind $75 donation. I really appreciate that. Here's to you, random politics streamer I found in 2022. Never stop being right, and by that I mean left. Not just $75, but the 15 gifted tier 1 subs. Finally, some good fucking politics? Well, I don't know about that. Thank you very, very much. It's very kind of you. I love being the random politics streamer you found in 2022. I love holding that position in your heart. Thank you, seriously. Westside Tyler's a psychopath. He was doxing Demon Mama and spewing insane pedo-jacketing allegations. Yeah. I think I heard that. Put out a DM hit piece that was full of lies and bullshit. Yeah, I think that guy's like an actual psychopath. Gambling being illegal makes it dangerous and more exploitative. MFs will correctly understand prohibition doesn't work and then argue for prohibition. Okay, you know, you Pepe laugh an awful lot when you disagree with me, and all I'm saying is it makes me want to be a little saltier than I might otherwise be. I'm just saying, it's just a rhetoric thing, you know. Treat me like a median voter. I've got a lot of prions up here and not a lot of common sense. You have to massage me out of my incorrect positions. I would never, ever Pepe laugh. I really don't like gambling. I don't know, man. Okay, I'm in favor of sin taxes. I think every carton of cigarettes should cost $1 million, personally. I think, I mean, maybe you could find a way to dissuade this. Or maybe there's like, look, maybe there's like a limit on how much you can gamble. Or we're talking like an upper limit. No, see, that's what I mean, Thana. Like, on like a spiritual level, looking at slot machines and looking at the like pensioners who are blowing away their very limited resources on the slots, like it just makes me think like they're, you know, it's desold. I think maybe maybe like a limit on how much you can gamble on non-skill-based gambling. Like if you're just taking bets or doing slots or whatever, there are, I don't know. I think I argued about this with TJ Kirk at some point, or maybe I like remember him talking about it, but I didn't argue about it. I don't remember exactly. I need to think about it. I need to like massage my position on this. But I do stand by this position. I do believe something. I do believe that fundamentally some types of human experiences are dangerous, and there should be like strongholds on them, you know, which is why I'm not in favor of gotcha games. Like, you know, you've got like 12-year-olds burning their parents' credit card, you know, spending limit on crates or whatever. There has to be some kind of, I don't know. Regulated legal gambling's better than prohibition. Yeah, that's probably true. All right, anyway. Misgender Lynn, thank you for the 3 gifted tier 1 subs. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Who is that, Balls? The new Tyler Oliveira video really pissed me off. Who's Tyler Oliveira? Oh, they were the person I saw earlier. Tyler Oliveira interviewed the cat eaters of Ohio. Yeah, no, this guy's like a fascist. He just makes slop content for 12-year-olds to make them racist. Why'd you watch it? Oh, thank you, Cypher23. Yes. Alloy, thank you for the 501. Oh, that was from the TTS last night. Guys, I got so fucking close to beating the lady, the armored knight lady in the Elden Ring DLC. I got so close, man. It was literally one hit. That was such a fun fight. I will say, though, I do think that so far the content in the DLC is really proving the point that Joseph Anderson made, which is that the only way FromSoft is cranking up the difficulty in the combat system that they have for Elden Ring is just by making the boss have, like, faster attacks, more mix-ups, longer combos, so you can only hit once every 47 attacks they throw out at you, you know? He's being proven correct, because, like, Millennia already had that issue, and both of the main bosses I've fought so far in the DLC have it even more, where you have to dance like a minute before you get a chance to hit once. Wrong, Rolana is great, you're just bad. Classic FromSoft fan defensive response to any criticism. I like Rolana a lot. I'm like a big Rolana stan. I was having a lot of fun. I just think it'd be cool if there was a bit more weaving and interplay and not like you have to dodge for 8 minutes before you get a chance at getting the one hit in, you know? How else do you make it more difficult? Honestly, scale up their health and give them more openings. Literally, that's how. Give them more openings, scale up their health so that you can attack more often, and give more windows to like sneak in hits in the middle of combos. Oh, interesting, Benjamin. That's literally what summoning does, lol. ClanRat87, if you think that I can't find you and ban you, IRL, don't say that. I don't need your uninformed. I have rune level 1 beaten every boss in the main game except for Millennia. I don't need your shit, okay? Why are FromSoft fans so resistant to like any constructive criticism? Do you not know I love these games? Why do you pretend? Like, I'm not like some sneering games journalist who's like, yeah, these games suck because they're too hard. Like, I love these games, you know? But then I'm like, you know, I think it'd be more fun to have more weaving and interplay. And it's like, well, you know, that's because you're playing the game incorrectly. It's like, well, is it? I don't think it is. It's just some random chattervosh. Don't pretend. Let me play it up, okay? I fat roll poke the final boss. I regret nothing. I respect that. They act like you're besmirching their god. Dude, I've only seen the first 1 minute of Joseph Anderson's new video that I can't watch yet because it spoils the DLC. And he's so fucking salty about the treatment that he got after the Elden Ring video because he was the only guy critiquing it at the time that he released that video. Like, everyone's been glazing Elden Ring for good reason. It's an amazing game, and he critiqued the fuck out of it. So, Vosh, here's a problem I've been dealing with. I'm 28 and have been a leftist most of my life. I guess we're doing this. I felt the pull of the right years ago when I was younger, but was smart enough not to fall for it. But here's the embarrassing part. Due to a legit porn addiction and going on GIF, I feel like I'm becoming more and more reactionary. I'm not sure what to do about this. You know, I have to say, I sympathize, but you're really putting me in a position where the instinct that I'm feeling right now is to make fun of you. Not for the porn addiction thing, but from the, like, Gooner gifs are making me racist kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, past a point, you have to, like, take responsibility for your own behavior, you know? I'm not the addiction thing necessarily, but the idea of, like, I can't stop consuming racial cuckoldry pornography gifs and it's making me more like, I'm not a psychologist. I don't have any advice on the specifics of dealing with porn addiction, which is a real thing in the same way that basically anything can be an addiction, right? It just depends. It's like a habit forming thing. You know, but like, if it's moving to a position where it's affecting your political views, like past a point, I mean, you're in control of your mind, you know? Like, I guess the closest example that I could think of to this is that you know what's really, really popular? Consensual non-consent. People fetishize things that are scary or taboo, and rape is one of them. Men, women, queer people, straight people, tons of people have varying, like, versions of consensual non-consent kinks. And there are tons of people who, you know, role play those out with their partners in a healthy way, right? Like, that's a really, really, really common thing, you know? But the equivalent of this would be like, I'm into consensual non-consent, but I'm feeling myself becoming more misogynistic because I look at porn of that, you know? And my response to that would just be like, well, how are so many other people not doing that? Like, there are tons of leftists who are into con, non-con, right? So how are they not falling into that? It seems like you have a general issue with controlling yourself and controlling your own life, and the pornography addiction. I'm just reaching here, but I think it might be a deep cut. The pornography addiction might be something that you're using as a pretext for not exercising control over your own life. Like, it may be a real issue, but it's like, oh, because I have that, like, I'm sort of being influenced in these ways. But you're your brain, you know? Like, you know what I mean? Again, I'm not saying it's not real. I'm just saying, like, I feel like there has to be another underlying compulsion issue if it's causing you to, like, politically shift, because that's something you're in control over, you know? Anyway, I've talked about this enough. I'm not an expert, and I'm not trying to diminish or demean at all, or in the slightest. I appreciate the courage that it can take to talk about something personal like that in a public venue. I'm just, you know. I mean, at the end of the day, look, if it's causing issues for you, then you gotta work on that. Guess that's not very helpful, but, you know. I mean, surely you can get your porn from somewhere else at least, right? Is it, like, specifically a fetish for the cuckold because I know what porn looks like on 4chan. I know what the white supremacists from Poll, the main, like, driver of that site's attention and traffic, apart from TTTT, you know, I know what it's like, okay? Okay, wait, I have to finish donos. I gotta go. Appalachian Anarchist, the $10. I hereby give Vosh the white trash pass to use on rural America from the money I just won on a scratch-off ticket. Yo! We got lots of lottery winners in chat today. My God. Pog. Hinting at the hell up. Thank you for the pass. Comrade Shapiro, thanks the 2-2 sub. Skibbity politician here in Down Under caused me immense pain. A video link. But are there non-racists into racial cuckoldry? Yeah. Yeah, I think that, yeah, I 100% think so. I think that a lot of people, even non-racist people, are interested in taboo, and they will have taboos that don't necessarily correspond to active bigotries they have. Or to put it another way, I'm sure that there are non-racist people who are into varying levels of race play, because there are non-sexist people who are in varying levels of like power dynamics pertaining to sex, right? Not consensual non-consent is a part of that, you know? Like oftentimes that falls on gendered lines. It doesn't necessarily have to, but like, let's be real. You know, people's kinks don't necessarily one-to-one correspond to their like direct political beliefs or views. Now, I do think in many cases, something like race play would end up being an obsession of people who are racist, but I don't think like if I was with a black chick and she was like, hey, I'm into that, I wouldn't necessarily take that as an indication from her that she was politically like favorable to white supremacy. So thus necessarily I would have to assume that if a white guy on the corresponding end of that, they would not necessarily be into white supremacy if they, you know, if they were into that. I mean, certainly there's probably a correlation, but you know. The only thing I suggest in cases like that is just to exercise self-awareness with where those feelings are coming from. You know what I mean? Because I think that you could be into consensual non-consent and like you could ask, why are you into that? And a person could be like, oh, because it's like power dynamics are hot or whatever. It's like, okay, yeah, that's true. And then you could ask like, maybe you could ask somebody like, well, why are you into consensual non-consent? And they could answer something, or they could think about it and think like, wait, hold on. Do I actually have violent fantasies towards women? Because a lot of guys do, and there's a pretty big difference between violent like spanking someone is a violent fantasy, right? In a very literal technical sense, like, oh yeah, I have violent fantasies about women, I want to spank them. Okay, all right, man, all right, you know, whatever. Live and live. But then like you've got your serial killer types, and I think that if you're introspective about like what you like and why you like it, I don't really think, you know, the kinks are bad. Just be introspective about why you're with a consenting adult. Okay, sure, fine. I have violent fantasies towards women. I want to kiss them roughly. Many such cases. Many such cases. Everyone wants to be choked these damn days. All the fucking trans dog girls on Twitter are like, yeah, punch me in the stomach. You know, it's crazy out there. You just have to exercise a bit of self-awareness when it comes to why you're into the stuff and to what extent and how to do it responsibly and blah, blah, blah. Okay, I need to finish the skibbity politician.
To the Sigmas of Australia, I say that this goofy-air government have been capping, not just now but for a long time. A few of you may remember when they said there'll be no phantom tax under the government I lead. They're capaholics. They're also yapaholics. They yap non-stop about how their cost of living measures are...
The cultural supremacy of Black Americans remains completely undisputed and unchallenged.
Changing lives for all Australians. Just put the fries in the bag, little bro. They tell us that they're locked in on improving the housing situation in this country. They must have brain rot from watching too much Kai Cenat and forgot about their plans to ban social media for kids under 14. If that becomes law, you can forgo skull emoji all about watching Duke
This is funny as fuck, dude.
Dennis or catching a dub with the bros on Fort. Chat, is this Prime Minister serious?
Me, if I ever get to speak to a political audience. Okay, this is great. This is funny as fuck. Olympians, thank you for the $5. Sorry, I used speech to text due to carpal tunnel. Oh, well, now you're making me feel bad. No, I got you. Sorry for razzing you a little bit. Kara G, thank you for the $15. Been watching for a couple years. Thank you for keeping politics slightly entertaining, though not enough to not be massively depressing. There is stuff to be, like, helpful, or sorry, happy about and optimistic about. It's just, you know, it's an election year. We're in for a rough 7 more weeks, I think. Kane 111th with the $5. Got any tips for adding more flavor to Campbell's chicken noodle soup? Yeah, chicken broth for one. Little bit of salt, because it's already a lot of salt in there. Some pepper. You can try like hot sauce, cumin, Creole seasoning. There's a lot of stuff you can add. Depends on what direction you want to take it in. It's pretty versatile. Garlic powder. The Wise Autistic one, thank you for the $5. Really appreciate that. Berserk fan here and heard you talk about it on the YouTube stream. The war during the Golden Age arc was based on the 100 Years' War between England and France. Nice. Man, I love Berserk. Spaced with the $5. I've never gamed at all. I get a Switch tomorrow and Disco Elysium. What should my next 4 games be? Well, do you want to play games that are more narrative, like Disco Elysium, or games that are more gameplay focused? Hollow Knight is like the best Metroidvania ever made, probably. Outer Wilds, I assume that's on the Switch, is maybe the best, like, in my opinion, world design puzzle narrative game possible. Stardew Valley, yeah, I agree. It's like maybe a really good game for particular types of game, you know, like if that one, yeah, that could be like really good for you. There are a lot. I've never played Stardew Valley because I don't like games that put me on a schedule. Breath of the Wild would be a good one, yeah. Or I guess Tears of the Kingdom because it's just Breath of the Wild 2. Electric Boogaloo. Sake with the 10 tier 1 subs. Thank you. I'll happily sign up for your Reddit post with PV in Wisconsin if you visit your real Reddit for an OKBV segment. Perhaps. 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 Sake with the additional 5 tier 1 subs. The Hotep Apocalypse. I Am Hotep. The original Hotep was played by White Man in Media. That's true. I don't know how you would depict ancient Egyptians. How brown were they? I actually have no idea. Were they like olive skinned? I have no clue how brown. I guess you would just look at modern Arabs as a like temple, but they weren't Arabs. They were, I mean, they were in the same area, right? So skin tone wise, it just like how dark your skin is basically just a product of how fucking toasty the sun is in the area you're in. It's not like it's not like different ethnic groups have innately different skin tones or whatever. It's, you know, it's the sun. The sun is the sun. I don't know. Does Stardew Valley have an ending? Because if it does, I might one day actually finish it. Or sorry, not finish it, start it. Story ending? Story ending, but not mechanical ending. I get you. Elsa47, thank you for the $5. Found this in my dad's house. The fuck is this? Thought this was like a cock and ball torture device for a second. That's cool. And tiny, too. I've never seen a music box the size of a thumbnail. Huh. How cute. Dude 36, thank you for the $5. Sorry, I'm actually not really a fan of Pokemon, to be honest with you. So no, I have not played Pokemon Unbound. Not really a fan of the system. Not a fan of this system. So I throw it on the ground. Let me read super chats, then I've got to skedaddle. Then I've got to skedaddle, folks! I had to skedaddle a little while ago. Man, the Astrobot is making me wish that I had a PS5. A bit. What's Astrobot? It's like a fun platformer game that came out recently. You always could? I mean, I could, but I don't want to buy a system for one game. I did buy a PS4 just for Bloodborne, though, so I guess I don't really have much... I don't have much ground to speak from there. Okay, let me read these. Still alive, thank you for the $10. Oh wait, I read that one last night. Terminal Sandy, thank you for the $5. Men can indeed get into catfights. Yeah, I think we should be more sexist against men, personally. Chris Wilson and Jesse Link, thank you for the $2 both. I have not watched The Bear yet. Benjamin, thank you for the $100. Vosh works very hard for his paycheck. He has to set up PayPal and everything. I pay the editors. You know, I have to. Guys, if you could, do you want me to reveal something very like? Can I have a little autism moment with you guys? You might get mad at me. You might get mad at me. Okay? I've been putting this off for a while. I keep most of my money in a checking account. I'm not a big finance guy. I've been for years now. I've been like, oh yeah, I'll do the high yield savings. I'll do the investment. But I keep forgetting to, and it's like, I'm not opposed to it politically. I just keep forgetting. I just want you guys to know that here in my heart, okay, this is a proletarian heart, all right? Please understand this, okay? Deep in I came from the mean streets of Beverly Hills. I should fix that, though. There's no reason I shouldn't be getting some money from the bank. Dude, you know, I know! I'm aware! What do you think you're gonna say that's gonna change who I am? I'm like Tim Walz, exactly. I bet you Tim Walz would be like, Tim Walz, like, writes a best-selling book, and he's asked, you know, about it. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I've just put it all in my Wells Fargo checking account, and, yeah, I haven't touched it at all, you know? They keep telling me I should diversify my portfolio, and yeah. What's the issue I don't understand? You wouldn't get it. Balthazar, thank you for the $10. Thank you very much. Getting 70% of his paycheck. Yeah, well, you know, I still appreciate the super chats. Still alive. I am interested in playing Astrobot. I might get a PS5 one day. There are 2 games that I want to play on it. Demon Souls and Astrobot, I guess. Carrie Bronson, thank you for the 5. I did see Naturally RP voiceover doing the dramatic reading on the Springfield pets. I did see it. I did see that on Twitter. I'm pretty sure. JW with the €2. Any chance of Metal Gear soon? I don't know. Am I going to beat Rolana or Renala or whatever, Rolana, whatever her name is? Am I going to, or am I going to be left on one hit next time? Are we going to get to Metal Gear? I don't know. Kamala, has to be defeated first. Her and her twin moonballs attack when she teabags you. Kamabla. Well, you know. Folks, I love you all very much. And I had a lovely stream. I really appreciate you guys tuning in for it. I am going to go get Adderall. You know, I need that to live. Not really, but it's nice. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Let me hand. Okay, I see Hassan is live, but AOC live streaming with Lena Khan right now. AOC live. What, on like Twitch? Where is AOC live? In 1 minute? She's not live on Twitch, so I don't know. When did you get to Rolana? What live stream was that? Last live stream. Last night. It's all there in the VODs channel. And by the way, I think I was doing well. I know there are freaks of nature who can just like 3-try new Elden Ring bosses when they first hit them, but I was going in there without that many skibbity fragments, you know, without that many stat points. I personally was happy with my performance, and I look forward to continuing to improve on it in the future. Oh, fuck, it's tomorrow, Vosh. I was lied to. Benjamin, you. You. Oh. Ah. If I had time, I'd send you to the pit. But I don't. Okay. To Hassan it is. I've heard great things about this guy. All right. Good luck, folks. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. And remember, be the skibbity. Don't be the toilet. All right? Check out !PV. Your worthless lives could be committed to a greater cause. All right? I'm like the Pope riling up the peasantry for a crusade, okay? We need to crusade in Pennsylvania, in Wyoming. Wait, not Wyoming. In Wisconsin. That's the other W state. Will it be a W state? Or will it be an L state? It's up to you.